Okay, this video I will go through the workings for Kelantan Addmaths paper. So this is the Addmaths paper and it's the Kelantan state paper 2024 and this is the paper 1. Okay. Okay, so let's start with question 1. Okay, number 1. Diagram 1 shows a three-dimensional graph represented by x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. The variable x, y and z are represented by the following equation. So they give us three linear equation, but they all have three variable x, y, z, x, y, z, x, y, z. And you learn how to solve this, right? You learn it before in form 4. Okay. And then here they say marks the coordinate of P, which is the intersection point for the three equation in the diagram 1 above. Okay, we can we need to do a simultaneous equation, right? We can do substitution method or elimination method to get the value of x, y, z, right? But this question never ask you to they never they want you to find x, y, z, but they never stop there. They want you to mark the coordinate, right? And this is quite hard because we most of us don't know how to plot, right? Because we never plot in this axis before. We only learn about like the x-axis, y-axis, right? We never learn how to plot when it's a 3D coordinate, right? This one is in like 3D, right? So later, after I get my x, y, z, I will teach you how to plot when there's a when it's a 3D, okay, using a 3D coordinate system. Okay, so now let's find out our xyz first. It means we find out our intersection point first, but later my intersection point will have x coordinate, y coordinate, z coordinate. Yeah, okay, so later we have to learn how to plot in the 3D coordinate, plot the 3D coordinate. Okay, okay, but now let's find out my xyz value first. So the first thing I will do is I will look at these three equation, right, and I will choose one of the method. So I will use substitution method, right? So what I will do is I'll call this equation 1, I call this equation 2, I call this equation 3, and I will straight away start from equation 1. So I'm just going to write from equation 1, and I'll try to make the z single. Okay, I can make the x and or the y single also, but making the exact single is better because if you make the x or y single, there will be fraction. There will be fraction. So that's why I choose to make the z single. And how we do that is just pindah the 4x and then negative 3y pindah sana lah. So 4x when you move there become negative 4x minus 3y pindah jadi plus 3y, and then the minus 10 is already there, so just write it, and I will call this equation 4. Okay, so equation 4 come from 1. So later the 4 you will sub the 4 inside where? You will sub 4 into 2 and 3 lah. Okay, sub 4 into 2, and then for the other for the other working you will sub 4 into 3, right? 4 into 3. Okay, so now you end up with okay, when you sub 4 into 2, you have to look at equation 2. So 2x plus y plus 3z equals 0, and then for the z you have to ganti dengan negative 4x plus 3y minus 10, right? And then for the other one, sub 4 into 3, you kena tengok equation 3, negative x plus 2y minus 5z equals 17. And then for the z, you just sub with this lah, negative 4x plus 3y minus 10. Okay, now you will simplify. Okay, you will expand everything and simplify this equation, right? Okay, so how to simplify? Okay, the 2x plus y, just leave it first because you need to times 3 first, right? So buat yang ada bracket dulu. So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12x. 3 times 3, 9y. 3 times negative 10, negative 30 equals 0. X dengan x boleh buat, y dengan y boleh buat. So 2x minus 12, negative 10, plus 1 plus 9 plus 10y. The negative 30 I can move over, become 30, right? Okay, this one can kecilkan. All these numbers can divide by 10. So let's make the number smaller. So divide 10, negative x, divide 10, 1y, divide 10, 3. So now you have your equation. But this is a very special equation because it only has two unknowns, right? This is the only equation in the whole question. This is the only equation that has two unknowns, right? So what I should do now is I should simplify this, and then I will get another equation yang ada x, y. Then I will take these two equations and do simultaneous one more time. Then I will get the answer, right? Okay, so let's continue from here. Negative x plus 2y times negative 5. So negative, negative, positive. 5 times 4, 20x. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15y. Negative 5, negative 10 times is positive 50 equals 17. Okay, x dengan x boleh buat negative 1 plus 20, positive 19. 2y minus 15, negative 13y. You can use your calculator to help you. And then the 50, I will choose to move it to the other side. So let's press calculator. 17 minus 50. So let's press. Okay, my calculator give me negative 33. Okay, negative 33. So now I get my other equation xy already. So this equation have x and y. This equation also have x and y. So we can do simultaneous one more time. And if you ask me, I will do substitution method again. If you want to do elimination, can also. Because this question, they never mention which method they want. So you can choose, right? You can choose. But me, I will choose substitution method. Okay. And how I will do it is I will make the y single here. I'll pin out the minus x become plus x. And I will call this equation 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be 5. And then this is equation 6. And then I will write sub 6 into 5. Yeah, this is how I would do it. Okay, and then I'll just sub inside here, and then it becomes 19x minus 13y equals to negative 33. And then the y I just sub 3 plus x. Okay, and now I just expand now, and then I just pina, then I can find x. So it will be 19x, negative 13 times 3, negative 39, negative 13 times x, negative 13x equals negative 33. X dengan x boleh buat 19 minus 13, 6x minus 39 pindah sana jadi tambah negative 33 plus 39 plus 6 plus 6. So x equals to 6 over 6, which is 1. Now you can sub inside here when x equals to 1, y equals to 3 plus x, which is 3 plus 1, and your y is 4. And after you get your x and y, you still need to find your z, and you sub into equation 4. Because your equation 4 is z equals negative 4x plus 3y minus 10. I tengok dari sini ya. Alright, so the x and y you sub lah. X is 1, y is 4. So now you press the whole thing. Negative 4 plus 12 8 minus 10 negative 2, right? So I end up, I berjaya cari the jawapan ni lah. So they got mentioned here just now, coordinate P is the intersection of these three equations. So your P coordinate, you already get it. Your P coordinate will be 1, comma, 4, comma, negative 2. 1 is the X coordinate, 4 is the Y coordinate, negative 2 is the Z coordinate. But the question got asked you to mark the coordinate in the diagram, in this diagram, right? So you will not get full mark if you just write down the working like this. If you want to get full mark, you still have to mark the coordinate here, right? And so now I will teach you how to mark the coordinate lah. All right, you only learn how to mark the coordinate when you have the y-axis and the x-axis, right? So for example, if I want you to mark 1, 4, it's very easy. You just go to x-axis, you cari 1, and then y-axis cari 4, and then you just mark, right? But this time there is a z coordinate. It means it's a 3D. It's a 3D plane. It's not a line. It's like 3D lah. It's like a 3D coordinate system. So how do we do that? Okay, for 3D, this is not your y-axis already. Okay, this becomes your z-axis already, and then your y-axis becomes here. Yeah, for 3D, it's like that one. This is z, this is y, and your x-axis dekat mana? Dekat sini. Yeah, this is your x-axis. That means this vertical one is the z-axis, right? And then this is the y, and this one is like sort of coming into you. That is the x, all right? That's the x. And now what you have to do is you have to go to the x-axis, cari satu, right? So this is the x-axis, right? So how do we find 1? Okay, this is definitely the 0, right? So 1 is like lebih kurang here. Okay, you don't have to measure 1 cm, no need one. This one is just mark only. Okay, so it's like you just label 1, and then yeah, it's good enough. So this is your 1, right? And then you have to go to the y-axis and find 4, right? So this is your y-axis, and you have to cari 4. So it's positive. So definitely it's like on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4, right? Okay, now what you have to do, you have to draw a parallel. Okay, from 1 here, you have to draw a parallel line and make sure it's parallel with the y-axis, right? So I'm just gonna use the red color line. So you will draw a line like this, but not like this. It has to be parallel with the y-axis. And you can make it longer. It's fine. Just make it longer, right? So as you can see, you draw it so that it's parallel to the y-axis, right? And then now you go to the y-axis 4. You also draw a line, but make sure this line is parallel with the x-axis. So it's like parallel with the x-axis, right? And you can make it longer. It's fine, right? So make sure this line and this line is parallel, right? It's parallel, okay? So now you can see that where they intersect, this is the place where they intersect, right? So I will use red color to show you. So this is the intersection point. So this is the coordinate 1, 4. Okay, 1, 4, okay? But this is not your answer. This is not your answer because you still have to check the exact axis and find -2, right? So now what I will do is I'll go to the z axis, which is this one, the vertical one, and I need to find out where's -2. So z, this is 0, so -2 must be down here, right? So I'll just go like -1 and then -2. So I think I can, this is -2, right? And same thing, you will draw a parallel line, but this parallel line have to be parallel with the y-axis. Okay, it has to be parallel because later this, oh, sorry, silap. You have to go, okay, because just now, remember this point just now is 1,4, right? So what you have to do is you continue from this 1,4, but this time you have to go down 2 unit, right? So what you have to do is you have to draw a line down and make sure this line is parallel to the z-axis. Can you see it's parallel? Yeah, it's parallel, right? Okay. So now what after you do this, now you will find -2 from here. Okay, it means you have to turun -2 unit. And let me tell you, it will be somewhere here. Okay, it will be somewhere here. That this will be your -2, right? So this is your point. Okay. Okay. I know it's like a bit confusing because some of you might say like, why is it like this one like lebih bawah compared to this? Is because the distance here must be the same with the distance here. You understand, right? So it's like this, when you turun 2 unit here, it will be like bawah sikit one, right? In other words, if you tarik the -2 line to here, this line should be parallel with this line, right? Imagine if I put the -2 up here. If I put it on the like here, like same level as this, then it doesn't make sense because when you join the line, you can see this line is not parallel with this line. You understand, right? So it doesn't make sense. So the correct way is like to make it here so that the distance here is the same with the distance from 0, 0 to here 2 unit, here also 2 unit. Okay, that's why it's down here, right? Okay, now we already finished plotting and this is the answer. This is your point P. Okay, so let's just label P and then we write the point 1, 4, -2. Okay, and then that's your answer. That's all. Okay, so hope you understand. So this is how you plot in a 3D. This is how you plot when it's a 3D, how to say? 3D coordinate system. Okay, all right. So hope you understand. Okay, so that's it lah. Ini cara dia, right? Okay, let's continue. Number 2, diagram 2 shows the curve y equals ab power x, okay, such that a and b are constant. So we can see this is not a straight line, okay? So it's not a straight line, it's a curve, right? So definitely this equation is not in linear form. And also you can look at the axis here, it's y against x. So yeah, you still have, it's not in linear form, okay? So let's see what A says. When a straight line log y base 2 against x are plotted, state the corresponding coordinates p and q. So I think when you plot log y base 2 against x, you will get a straight line. Yeah. When you make the the y-axis is log y base 2 and the x-axis, you will get a straight line. Okay. But but they want to find corresponding coordinate of p and q, right? So I think if I want to do that, I have to change my equation to linear form first. Yeah, I have to do that. Okay. Okay, actually, no need also can. Actually, if you don't change, can also, right? But I recommend changing it because later when you do B, you need to change also. Because this is how I teach my student. When you do it, I tell my student when we are doing linear law, always change the equation to linear form. Like just change it. Yeah, just change it, right? Okay, so how do we change it? Is try to change into y equals mx plus c. Okay, it means we will try our best to make our equation sama dengan y-axis, right? We want this y here to be same with the y-axis at the graph. Okay, so how we do that is we have to tambah log both sides, and we will tambah log base 2 because you want it to match with the y-axis, right? And when you add log base 2, you have to add it on the other side. So this will be y, this will be ab power x. Okay, some student they will take the x and letak depan. Cannot. Wrong. Salah. This x cannot letak depan. You can only take the power letak depan when the a also got power x. It means if they put bracket like this, both the ab got power x, then only you can put the x depan. So now cannot letak depan is because only B sahaja yang power X. A tak ada power X. So you cannot letak depan macam tu. So the correct way is to separate it. How to separate? Single log times separate log plus. So when single log times, you can change to separate log plus. So it becomes log 2A plus log 2B power X. And now the X can letak depan. because now it's like everything separate already, everything single already. So now the x can letak. Now we just have to arrange so that it becomes y equals mx plus c. So how to arrange? Log 2y, this is the y-axis, equals to mx plus c. So I will write this first. But I will not write x times log b. I will write log b times x. Because it's the same thing, right? X times log b times x is the same. But I need to write like this. And then plus log 2a. Okay? Because I want it to arrange into mx plus c. So now you can see that your equation is already in linear form. Y equals mx plus c. So you can see the y-axis is log y base 2. Alright? Already matched with the y-axis they want. And then the x-axis is also same with the x, right? So that means your gradient will be log b base 2 and your y-intercept c is log a base 2. And you need this later when you do b. Okay, when you do b. Okay, now I want to finish my a first. My a asks us to find what? To find corresponding coordinate of p and q. So point p is 1, 4, point q is 3, 32. But you need to know this one is x, y. This one is x, y, because the x-axis is x, the y-axis is y. If you want to find the corresponding coordinate of p and q, you need to convert into log y base 2 and against x, right? So what happens is like your value will change, right? Your value will change. So your coordinate p, instead of, okay, it will still be 1. The x coordinate will still be 1 because the x-axis is still x. Okay, it means the x-axis never change. But the y-axis changed to log y base 2. So here will be, the y coordinate will be log y base 2, which is log 4 base 2, right? So your coordinate of p will be 1, and then log 4 base 2 is just 2, right? And then for the point q, originally is 332. Okay, the 3 is the x, right? But when you plot the straight line, your x-axis is also x, so that's why it's also 3. But your y-axis is already changed to log y base 2, so it becomes log 32 base 2, right? So now you have to press this and you will get 5. Because 32 is 2 power 5. And then the 5 letak depan, and then log 2 cut jadi 1, so that's why it left 3, 5. So this is the answer. Alright, that means when you're doing A, you don't need this. Actually, you don't need this working. You can straight away do it this, because you already know the x-axis, y-axis just from looking here, right? But I recommend, but you have to do this at the end also, because now I will do B, and if you don't believe me, if you read B, then you will know you need this, right? Without this, you can't. Yeah, you can't do B. Okay. All right, so just remember this. When you do linear law question, doesn't matter paper 1 or paper 2, you need to change your equation to linear form. Just change it. Like, even if the question never asks, also just do it. Okay, so 2 marks for A. B, they say express y in index form, but it's the small y, so I need to focus in this part, right? So this part. Okay, but if you want to convert this into index form, we need to get our gradient and y-intercept first. Yeah, we need to get our gradient and y-intercept, and then sub inside, then only I can perform the anti-log. Okay, then only I can perform the anti-log. But let's find out the gradient and the y-intercept first. So how do we find gradient? You don't tell me you use these two coordinates to find gradient. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is not the straight line. You have to take this and this, baru betul. Because when you take gradient, you're trying to find the gradient of straight line, right? So it should be y minus y, 5 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. And you will end up with the gradient of straight line being 3 over 2, right? So now you have your equation of straight line, y equals mx plus c. The m is 3 over 2. Okay, the y and x, make sure you use big letter, capital letter. And then plus c, c is the y-intercept. Okay, these two coordinate will not tell us the y-intercept, but it's okay, because we can use the ganti punya cara. So y equals 3 over 2x plus c. Since the c I don't know, it's okay. I just use this method, passes through, and then I sub the xy inside. But you have to sub point yang ada passes through lah. So we can use point P or point Q, right? Because both also got passes through. Let's use point P. So this one I sub into the big X. This one I sub into big Y. Big X, big Y, Okay, so now it becomes big Y is 2 equals to 3 over 2. Big X is 1 plus C. So now your C is 2 minus 3 over 2, which is 1 over 2. That means, what is your equation? Your equation will be big Y. Okay, I write here big Y equals to mx plus c. So 3 over 2 is the gradient, big X plus 1 over 2. And the big Y, big X, we replace with the real y-axis. Your real y-axis is log 2y. And then the big X, your real x-axis is small x. So this is how you do it, right? Okay, but the soalan asks us to express in index form. It means you don't want to have log. It means you have to do anti-log. And how you do anti-log? Okay, when you have log something base something equals to something, you can perform anti-log. You just pindah the base to the other side, and when you pindah the log base, it becomes the number base, and then the C becomes power. This is how you do anti-log. But I recommend you change this to single fraction first. Because this one all over 2 over 2, so you can write it as a single fraction like this. And then this one is log y base 2. And now you perform anti-log, just move this over there, becomes y equals 2, and this whole thing becomes power. So it becomes 2 power 3x plus 1 over 2. And this one I will write in small size because it's the power now, right? So that's all. That's the answer. Okay. All right. Hope you understand. Okay, let's do number 3 now. Number 3, this looks like a function question. So I will start. Given the function g power nx equals to this. Okay, if I am you, I will straight away expand this, right? Because I saw I can expand, right? So let's just expand, see what we get. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 2 times negative 1 over x, which is positive, and then 2 times 1 over x is 2 over x. So this is the g power nx, right? This one, g power nx. Okay, now they give us h power negative nx. And then it says 4 minus 2 over 3x. Okay, so this is h power negative nx, where n is an integer. Okay, integer means no decimal, no fraction, tak ada point punya lah, tak ada pecahan. And the range of n is 0, 2. Means n is 1 lah. Because in between 0 and 2, there is the only integer in between 0 and 2 is 1, right? The 1.5, 1.1, 1.2, we don't count this because these are not integer. So we can actually say that we can actually know that the n is 1 already. It means this one is actually h power negative 1. Okay? Because there's no other integer in between 0 and 2. It's 1, it has to be 1, right? Okay, but it's okay. Let's see what they want to find first. So find a, the function g power negative nx. Okay, if this is g power n, how to find g power negative n? Well, just do inverse lah. Just do inverse lah, because this one is g power n, right? So imagine if the n is 2. This is g power 2. That means it's g lah. Like this is g power 2, right? So imagine how to find g power negative 2. It will be here lah. It will be the inverse of g power 2 lah, right? What if your n is 5? Same also. If the n is 5, that means this is g power 5, and you're trying to find g power negative 5, and you also do the inverse. So in other words, you just do inverse for this, right? Okay, the way I do inverse is like this. So we know the g power nx is negative 6 plus 2 over x. And the way I do inverse is like I will let depan equals y, belakang equals y. Okay, that's the method I do it. Let depan g power x equals y, and then yang belakang pun equals y. Negative 6 plus 2 of x equals y. And then both sides you cari x. Both sides you cari x. Alright. Okay, how to find x here? Okay, when you find x here, the g power n you can move to the other side. But when you move it, it bukan jadi bahagi it's not become divide it becomes g inverse. So if this is g power 1, then it becomes g negative 1. If this is g power 2, then it becomes g power negative 2. So if gn, then it becomes g negative n. And then bracket y like this. So that means x is your g negative ny. It means x is your answer lah, right? So what I have to do now is I have to find x from here also. Then only I can ganti the x with g negative ny, right? And then I can get my final answer already. Okay. All right. So I need to find x now. So how I do it is I will pindah the 6. So 2 over x equals to y plus 6. And then this x you can pindah atas jadi darab. And then the y plus 6 you can pindah bawah jadi bahagi like this. It means they both just switch place. Okay? So now I get my x already. And don't forget, x is your g negative ny. In other words, this is the g inverse ny. So the g inverse ny will be 2 over y plus 6 lah. But the soalan asks for g negative nx. Okay, simple, just change the y to x. So the answer is 2 over x plus 6. Okay, you have to write the undefined case for this. Because kalau ada x duduk dekat bawah sini, means there are the undefined case. Undefined case means you have to write down the x value that will make this function undefined. So the x cannot equals to negative 6, right? Because if x is negative 6, negative 6 plus 6 is 0, and 2 divided 0 is math error. Okay, so kalau dia punya function jawapan ada undefined case, you kena tulis, right? Tapi kalau tak ada x bawah tak payahlah. But this one kena ada lah sebab bawah ada x. Alright, this is your A answer. That's all. That's your answer. Okay, now let's do B. Okay, for the B part, I will just do it here. Okay, B says find the range of g and x if x is bigger or equals 5. So g and x is this function. Let's write down first. G and x is equals to negative 6 plus 2 over x. And they said find the range if the x is bigger or equals 5. Okay, let's think about this. Mm, okay, so if the domain is bigger equals 5, what will be the range, right? Okay, I will explain this using graph. So this graph, when you draw it, it will look like this. Okay, let's talk about 2 over x. If the graph equation is 2 over x, the graph looks like this. Yeah, it's called a reciprocal graph. You will get a graph that look like this when your x power negative, when your x duduk bawah, then you get like this. But this question, they got -6, right? Yeah, 2 over x and then -6. So what happens is the reciprocal graph will move down 6 unit. So it will like something like this. Yeah, something like this, right? And this is like the undefined punya part. Okay. Okay, so this is like roughly how the graph looks like. So they say x bigger or equals 5. So we all know this is x. So 5, I think, is like around, I don't know, maybe here. Okay, wait. If the equation is 2 over x minus 6, uh, I can find out the x-intercept. So let's try to find out what's the x-intercept. So -6 plus 2 over x equals 0. Because this is the x-intercept, right? So you ganti the whole thing equals 0, and then 2 over x equals to 6, and then x equals to 1 over 3. That means this is 1 over 3. So definitely x bigger equals 5 must be somewhere here, right? So what they're asking is, if the x coordinate I cut off here, what is the range? What is the y coordinate range for the y coordinate? Like the range for the y coordinate, right? So what will be the range? How will we do it? Okay, we can try to sub x equals 5 inside here and see what happens. So let's try to find gn5 like this. So you get -6 plus 2 over x, right? And then the x you can sub 5. Okay, you can sub 5. And when you sub 5, you can press calculator and see what it gives you lah. And let's write in decimal. Okay, let's write in decimal. So -5.6, right? -5.6. So that means when the x coordinate is 5, the y coordinate is -5.6. But what if the x coordinate is 6, right? What if the x coordinate is 6? You will end up with -6 plus 2 over 6. And if you press calculator, you will get what? -6 plus 2 divided 6, which is -5.66666. So -5.67. Okay, just write 2 decimal place. All right. So you can see that this value is smaller than this value. It means when you increase your x value, your y coordinate become smaller, right? Yeah, it makes sense because the graph look like this. The graph look like this. So when you increase the x value, your y coordinate actually become lower. But did you know that this graph, it will not go down. It will just get closer and closer to 6. Yes, it will just get closer to 6. It will not reach 6, but it will get closer to 6. Let me prove to you. If you put g power n and you put like 10,000, like 10,000, it means you make your x coordinate 10,000 and see what you get. -6 plus 2 over 10,000, right? And if you press this, you see what the calculator give you. -6 plus 2 divide 10,000. You can see your calculator give you -5.9998, right? So I think you understand already. If you make this value bigger, you will just this value will just get near and near to 6. It will not be lower than -6. It's not possible. Okay, it will just get closer to -6. Yeah, it will not touch it will not go below 6 lah. That's the meaning. So if I kasih besarkan lagi, if I put 1 million here, your calculator will straight away give you -6 one. If you make it like lagi bigger. So I think you know what's the range already. Yeah, you can see from here already. What's the range? The g power nx range will definitely be less than or equals -5.6. You agree, right? Because when your x is bigger or equals 5, right, your value will get smaller and smaller and smaller. It keeps getting smaller, right? -5.6, 5.6. It just keeps getting smaller. But it will never be smaller than it will be smaller than -5.6, but not lesser than -6. Right? So I think I can write in between, right? So I think I can also write like this, like g power nx is in between. It's always wait, is it correct if I write like this? It's greater than, no, right? It's not correct. Okay, so I think I will just write like this. Yeah, I will just write like this. Okay, if I write in fraction, can also. If I write in fraction, it will be what? 5.6. Let's try to change to fraction. Oh, excuse me. Okay, 28 over 5, right? So you can just write 28 over 5 here. So this is my answer. Okay, less than negative 28 over 5. Okay, I know the schema give a different answer, but I think the schema is wrong because the answer schema give it doesn't even make sense. The schema give like what 2 over 11. I don't think so because if you press 2 over 11, it's like 0. It's saying that the y coordinate is like less than 0.1818, but I just show you already. All the value is like less than negative 5 point something, right? So I will say that this is the answer. And let me prove to you using another way that this is the correct answer. Let me prove to you. So I will prove to you using the soalan. So let's try to do it in reverse. Okay, let's try to do it in reverse. So uh, g power nx is this, right? And let's take this whole thing, negative 6 plus 2 over x, and then less than or equals negative 28 over 5. It means I try to do it in reverse and see whether I get back the x bigger 5 or not. And you will really get back. Okay, if you don't believe me, dengar saya cakap sekarang. So negative 6 pindah jadi plus. So negative 28 over 5 plus 6. You press calculator, you get 2 over 5. And then darab silang, you end up with 2x here and then 10. The symbol is still smaller equals. And then this is smaller equals x. 10 divided 2 is 5, right? And this one you can flip. Yeah, you can flip. But when you flip, make sure the arrow also have to flip. It means the arrow have to point towards 5 here also. And you can see this one is exactly the same with what they mentioned in the soalan. Okay, that's why I will stick to my working and say like this is the answer. Okay, but of course you don't have to show all this lah. This one is just like I just do it to explain. I just want to make you understand. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you this. You don't have to write this in the exam. Okay. All right. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So hope you understand my working. Now I want to do C. So the part C I'll do it here. Okay. The C that says find value of x if the gnx minus 2 equals to this. Okay. For the gnx minus 2, I already know gnx is this. Negative 6 plus 2 of x. So just write it. And then minus 2, okay, just write minus 2 equals h negative n3 over 2. Okay, do we have the h negative nx? Yes, it's given up here, which is 4 minus 2 over 3x. But this is h negative nx. What they want is h negative n bracket 3 over 2. So the x here have to change to 3 over 2. Now we can cut, left with 1, 4 minus 1, 3. And then here, negative 6 minus 2, negative 8 plus 2 over x. And then I want to find x, so I will pindah the minus 8 jadi plus 8, 3 plus 8, 11. And to find x, I simply just pindah the x here. And then the 11 also can move down, become divide. So the answer is 2 over 11, right? So this is how I would do it. Okay, sudah siap? That's all. Okay, let's do number 4 now. Number 4 says solve the quadratic equation. This one, give your answer in the form of a plus bi. Okay, what is I? When you see I means this is square root negative 1. We call this imaginary unit. Okay, imaginary unit. It means this quadratic equation has no roots. This quadratic equation has no roots. The b squared minus 4ac for this equation will be negative. And I can quickly press now. So negative 5 squared is 25 minus 4 times 3 times 3. So yeah, my calculator give me negative 11. So the b squared minus 4ac is really negative, right? It means that this quadratic equation has no roots. That is why your answer will have like the I comes out, right? But how can we write the answer in this form? Okay, you can use two methods. Okay, actually got three methods you learn in quadratic, right? How to solve quadratic got three methods. First is the factorization method, like the calculator one. And then second method is the quadratic formula and the completing the square, right? But for equation yang no roots, you don't use the calculator method, because if you do calculator method, you will get the answer. But you can't write the working. You cannot show them there's no way to show the working. So I recommend you use the quadratic formula method. But if you use the completing square method, you will get same also. Yeah, you will get the answer also if you use the completing the square. But I'm not gonna do that. I will show you using the quadratic formula. So how we do it is, let's write down the equation first and then apply the quadratic formula, and the formula looks like this: negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So this is the formula that I will use now. So let's write down the formula again. So I will write nicely. Okay, so this is the line. Okay, it becomes negative bracket plus minus square root. And then b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, for the b, what's the b of the equation? -5, -5. The a is 3, so 3 here, 3 here. C is 3, okay, just put it in. And then now you draw a line. 2 times 3 is 6, that's all. And then -5, which is 5, plus minus square root. Okay, this one you press, you get -11. Okay, the reason I know so fast is because just now I tekan already. Yeah, just now when I explained to you, no, I explained to you this equation has no roots, right? Yeah, just now I pressed already. That's why I can do it fast. Okay, this plus minus means you have to split into two answer. The first answer would be 5 plus square root -11 over 6. And then the other one is 5 minus square root -11 over 6. But your answer has to be in this form. It has to have the I symbol come out. And I told you I is square root -1, right? So what we should do now is, hey, let me explain why is it like no answer first. It's because when you tekan square root negative, there will be no answer. Yeah, you can't square root negative. Okay, it's actually like math error. But if you use the I, then you can write in the form of I lah. It means you change to square root -1. Okay, so I'll show you now how to write the answer. So it's like this, 5 plus. So square root negative memang tak boleh buat. Okay, like, okay, there is a few things that, okay, when you tekan calculator, sometimes they will give you math error, right? So one of the famous case is when you divide by 0. That's when you get math error, right? Another thing is when you square root negative number. That will give you math error also. Okay, that's why when the inside square root is negative, it's like straight away no answer lah. No roots. We call this no roots. But we can write it using the I, because I actually represents square root -1. So what we can do is like the -11, we can write it like this: -1 times 11, and then over 6, right? And then it will slowly becomes 5 plus, okay, square root -1, that's gonna be I, right? And then square root 11, I will just write beside like this, and then over 6. So, but since the question asked to write like this, a plus b over I, it means the a and it means there's like two separate terms. Okay, there's no, like, it's not like one single fraction, right? So what I will do is I will separate this into two terms. So it should become like this: 5 over 6, one term, plus square root 11 over 6. And then for the I will just write beside like this. Okay, when you write beside like this means dia atas punya, right? So this is my first answer. Okay, the other answer I will do the same. Okay, so so this one I, or the other one also 5 minus, okay, the -11 is -1 times 11, right? And then over 6, and then do the same thing. It will be 5 minus square root -11 is I, and then times square root 11, so square root 11 over 6. Separate into 2. So the answer would be 5 over 6 minus square root 11 over 6 I. Okay, so these are the two answer in this form. Okay, A plus BI. It means A is 5 over 6, B is square root 11 over 6, ataupun A is 5 over 6, B is negative square root 11 over 6. Macam tu lah. Okay, sudah siap? Ini jawapan A. Okay, now we can do B. Okay, B says the quadratic equation, this one, has two equal real roots. Determine ratio H ratio K. Okay, the moment you see the word two equal real roots, you don't have to think already. Confirm you will do B square minus 4AC equals 0. This is under chapter 2, 2.2. Yeah, 2.2. The subtopic is called type of roots. When you see two equal real roots, like you need to know this. Okay, you have to do B square minus 4AC equals 0. But first, you have to arrange this equation first. You have to susun jadi general form. Dia mesti equal 0. Okay, what I will do is I will expand everything. Yeah, expand everything. So H times X square, HX square, H times 1H plus K. This one I will expand also. 2HX minus KX, like this. And then since I want the general form, everything on one side equals 0 lah. So the HX square I will tulis dulu. Next one I have to write X. So ada dua X ini kan. So I will pindah sini. So when I'm pindah minus KX pindah jadi plus KX. Plus 2H pindah jadi minus 2HX. And then the last thing is tulis yang tak ada X lah. So yang tak ada X is the H plus K. So just write it. And then equals 0. But this is still not general form. Because if general form, dia tak boleh, the X cannot have two times like this one. So you should factorize out the X. So you're left with K minus 2H here. And then plus H plus K equals 0. Okay, now this is general form. Your A is H, your B is K minus 2H, your C is H plus K. So now you can do the B square minus 4AC equals 0. Why equals 0? Because two equal roots. Two equal roots. Okay, the soalan asks us to find H ratio K. It means you don't need to find H and K separately. You don't need to find H and K separately. Okay, you just have to find H over K. Because H ratio K, means H over K lah, right? So what you are finding is actually this H over K. You are not finding H and K separately. You are finding H over K together. Like you are finding like H over K together. So I'll show you how. So B square minus 4AC equals 0. The B is K minus 2H. A is H. C is H plus K. Okay, memang is impossible one. If you want to find H separately and K separately, memang is impossible because you have two unknowns, H and K in one equation. Memang is impossible one. But it's possible to find H over K. Yeah, it's possible. But you need to know how to pindah lah. Okay, first thing is expand this thing first. How to expand? So you will take K square first. And then after that, you have to take K times negative 2H times 2. Okay, that's the method. So K times negative 2 is negative 2K. So it will be negative 2KH times 2 negative 4KH. Ataupun HK lah, sama saja. And then negative 2H square, you get positive 4H square. This is how you expand this. And then negative 4 times H is negative 4H times H, negative 4H square. Negative 4 times H, negative 4H times K, negative 4KH equals 0. 4H square minus 4H square is 0. Negative 4KH and then negative 8KH. And then this is K square, it is equal to 0. And please don't forget what the question wants. They want H over K. So how can we convert this into H over K? How can we change this so that it becomes H over K? Very easy. You need to arrange so that yang ada H on one side, yang ada K on one side. You want it to look like this. Because when it look like this, then you can pinna the K here already. Then it becomes H over K. And then this number, you can just move it to the other side. Then you will know your answer for H over K. So what I will do now is I will pindah the negative KH, right? I will pindah the negative KH here. And I realize both sides can divide by K. And then I'll just left with K equals to 8H. And you can see now you can find your H over K already. So if your, I'll write here lah. So if 8H equals to K, that means your H over K equals to 1 over 8 lah. Because when the K moved down here, it will just left with 1 here, right? And then the 8 means becomes H over K here, and then 8 pindah sana, jadi 1 over 8. That means H ratio K is 1 ratio 8. That's what it means. Okay, so that's all. Sudah siap? Okay, number 5, let's do it. Solve the following equation with the condition x bigger than 0. Okay, why they suddenly say x bigger 0? Ini mesti penting kan? This one confirm will be important later. But now I don't know what's the purpose of them giving me this. I still tak tahu kenapa dia cakap macam tu. But it's okay, kita buat dulu. Kita buat dulu, and I'm sure later after I get the answer, then I'm sure this thing will make sense, right? But for now, I will just keep this in mind. X has to be positive. All right, so now let's try to do this question. Okay, when we are doing indices or log question, you always have to make sure it's same base, right? And kalau dia tambah tolak punya soalan, you cannot combine, you cannot merge, right? So the law of indices we learn is like this: a power m times a power n equals a power m plus n, and then a power m divide a power n equals to a power m minus n. This is the basic, the basic for indices. When you have same base times, the power will plus. Same base divide, the power will minus, right? But if this one is plus, then cannot already, cannot already. That one cannot combine already. That one have to use another method, right? So for this case, you can see it's minus, right? So it means you cannot combine. Okay, let me show you how to do it first. First of all, the square root, you can change to power 1 over 2. So it becomes 3 power x power 1 over 2, right? And since I already see this one is minus, it means this 3 power x and this 3 power x, no chance to combine already. No chance already because there's no formula you can use to combine these two. Unless it's divide lah. If it's divide, then yeah, then if it's same base divide, then maybe we can apply this. If it's plus minus, no chance. So we have to use another method, which is separate everything. And how do we separate? Okay, when the power got plus minus, you can separate it. How to separate? From this one, change to this. So 3 power x plus 1. Can you see? The 3 is the A. The A is the 3, right? And then the m plus n is basically x plus 1. So when you separate it back to here, it will become 3 power x times 3 power 1 equals to 9. Okay? I'm still using this formula. It's just that I do it in reverse. Okay? And why I do it like this is because this is a plus minus punya soalan. It's not times divide. That's why you can't merge. All right? Okay, so now it becomes 28 3 power x power 1 over 2 minus. Okay, this one I can see the 3 power 1 boleh buat. 3 power 1 is 3. So the one is 3. I just write it down. Times with 3 power x. Okay, the 3 power x tak boleh buat. It's okay. Just leave it. Equals to 9, right? Okay, I can see this 3 power x and 3 power x is the same. So if it's the same, I can let a equals 3 power x. It means I tukar 3 power x, I tukar jadi a sementara. It means I change to A, but for sementara saja, for temporary only. Later you have to change it back. Okay, now I just change it like, just change it for temporary only. So now it becomes 28, A power 1 over 2 minus 3A equals 9. Okay, I just temporarily change to A only, sementara saja. So now I can try to find A, but A is your 3 power x, later I have to change it back. So how can we solve this? Is like, we can pindah the minus 3A and then square both sides. Because the A power 1 over 2 is square root A. And if you are trying to find the A, you need to get rid of the square root. And how I do it is like, I will make the minus 3 pindah sini dulu, and then I square both sides. The reason why is because I want to get rid of the square root. Okay, 28 square, if you press calculator, you will get 784. And then what is square root A square? Is just A lah. And then the 9 plus 3A square, you can expand. The correct way to expand is take 9 square, so 81. And then 9 times 3A times 2, which is 54A. And then the last step is take the 3A square. You get 9A square, right? This is how you expand it, okay? All right, now you can see that this is a quadratic equation because got square, right? So you should pindah everything on one side and then equals 0 and then press calculator. Okay, I will make my 0 here because my A square is already positive. If I move it here, then it becomes negative. And I don't want that. So I think it's better if I put my 0 on the left side and then everything I susun on the right side. So 9A square, the next thing is 54A, but I have to minus with 784A, and I will get negative 730A. You can use your calculator to help you, and then plus with 81. Okay, sampai sini, you can factorize, right? So you can use your calculator to press the A is 9, B is negative 730, and then the C is 81, and then you get your both answer. All right, if you press calculator, your calculator will give you 1 over 9 and 81. And then this will be 0 equals bracket, bracket. The first bracket, you write 9A minus 1. Okay, because the 9 bahagi jadi darab, and then the 1 is plus 1 jadi minus 1. And then the 81 become minus 81 like this. But don't stop here, please. I told you already, you only change the 3 power x to A for temporary only. Like you tukar jadi A sementara saja. After you find out your A, you kena tukar balik. So actually the A you have to tukar balik jadi 3 power x equals 109, 3 power x equals 81, and then find x. Like that. So how to find x now? Okay, we all know 9 is 3 power 2. Right? 3 power 2 is 9. But this one is 109. So you can change to 3 power negative 2 lah. It means you make like both side same base. You make both sides same base. So 109 is actually 3 power negative 2. And when the both side is same base already, then you can compare the power. So it's x equals negative 2. The other one also same. Try to make both sides same base. So 381, can they change to same base? Yes, 81 is 3 power 4. So if both sides same base already, compare the power, x equals 4. But hold on, they mentioned something here, right? The condition is x has to be always positive, bigger than 0. That means x cannot be negative 2. So I will write rejected here. So the answer we take here is 4. Okay, it means there's only one answer for this question. All right? But you can only reject when the soalan mention that you can reject, then only you reject. If the soalan never mentioned this, then you should show them, you should write both answer. Okay, it means like got two answer lah. Okay, but this question, obviously they want us to reject the negative because they already mentioned it here. Okay, now we do B. So B says what? Log 3P equals A, so this is information. Log 9Q equals B, this is also information. Express in terms of A and B for this expression, which is 25 power log 5Q over P. Okay, this one I teach my own student before. So how I teach my student is like when I tell, okay, whenever your power have log, listen here, when your power have log and your base and the log base same, you can potong. For example, 3 power log 37. So can you see that your power have log and your base and the log base same? So if same, you can potong. So the answer is 7, right? But you can only potong when the base and the log base same, then only you can potong. So let me give you another example. Let's say I ask you 9 power log 9 2 like this. So what's gonna happen is you can cut because the base and the log base same 2. But you only when your power have log, then only you do this, right? Then only you do what I teach you just now. So tell me now, can this cut? Cannot, right? Because they are not the same. Then make them the same lah. 5 and 25 memang boleh sama. 25 can change to 5 power 2. And then the 5 power 2, later the 2 will darab with this log 5Q or P. And then the 2 can naik atas jadi kuasa, right? Because the number in front you can, naik atas jadi power. So it becomes Q or P square like this. and then this will be 5. And now you can see you can cut already because your power have log, and then the log base and this base also same. So cut, the answer will be Q or P square, right? But of course, this is not your answer because the soalan asked to write in terms of AB. So definitely I have to use these two information given here. So how can I make sure my answer have AB? Well, if you look at this, tak ada log, dah, right? Tak ada log. Your log already potong already. Tak ada log. But the information ada log, right? So I repeat, the information have log, but your question now don't have log. You don't have log. So how can I use the information yang ada log? Okay, you convert your information so that the information tak ada log also lah. It means you perform anti-log here. You perform anti-log here, then you use the new information. So what I will do is I will try to hilangkan log here. How to do that? You perform anti-log. When you move the log base, it becomes number base. So 3 power A here. Same thing here. You can perform anti-log. 9 pindah jadi 9 power B. So now I will not look at these two already. I will only look at these two. And then just sub inside P and Q masuk dalam. That's how you do it. So it becomes bracket something power 2, right? Okay, for the Q, I will sub 9 power B. And then for the P, I will sub 3 power A, right? And can you see they are both divide? And I told you just now, if divide same base, the power we can minus. But it's not same base now. So make it same base. 9 can memang boleh tukar jadi 3 power 2. But it will become 3 power 2 power B. So 3 power 2B over 3 power A, and then bracket power 2. And then now it becomes what? Bracket power 2. Okay, this one is same base divide. So power can minus. So 3 power 2B minus A. And then the 2B minus A have to power 2. And if the power side by side like this, you have to times. So it becomes 3 power 4B minus 2A. This is your final answer. Okay? And how you get this is like just take the 2 times 2B minus A. Alright? So that's all. Sudah siap? That's the answer. Okay, let's continue with number 6. Diagram 3 shows a circle center at O. Okay, I can see it. Given that the ratio of major arc PQ to, major arc PQ to the perimeter of minor sector OPQ is 3:2. Find the value of theta angle in degrees. Okay, so let's write it. Let's write down the information. Major arc PQ ratio siapa? Perimeter of minor sector OPQ. It means this one lah. So this is the minor sector, and they said perimeter. So perimeter of minor sector, and the ratio is 3:2. So I think first I need to find out my major arc, and then I have to find out my perimeter minor sector, and then I have to take the major arc answer divide with the perimeter of minor sector equals to 3/2. Yeah, so that's the plan. So let's try to find major arc first. What is the major arc PQ? It's here, right? So in order to find the arc formula we have to use r theta formula. Okay, because the formula is S equals r theta. Okay, the r is the radius, but they never give us radius here. So I think I'll just call it r. Or you want to call it J also can, whatever. Use whatever alphabet you want. And then for the theta, it has to be in radian. Yeah, this formula you have to make sure it's in radian, right? So let's assume this theta is in radian. What would be this theta then? If this theta is in radian, what would be this theta? 360 minus theta. No, right? It should be 2 pi minus theta. Because if this theta in radian, then your total, your 360, you cannot take 360 minus lah. You have to take radian minus radian. So 360 degree, one full circle is 2 pi. So this is your major arc angle. So now you can find your major arc PQ. It will be r theta. The r is radius r, and then the theta will not be theta. It will be 2 pi minus theta. And when you expand this, you will get 2 pi r minus theta. But let's divide with what? Divide with, because ratio is like fraction, you can divide like that. And then later equals to 3/2 here. Okay. And then here I have to write down the perimeter of minor sector. Okay, minor sector is this one plus this one plus this one. And it's very easy to find the perimeter. It's just r plus r plus r theta. That's all. Because this is r, and this is the minor arc. The minor arc use the same formula r theta lah. And this time your r is r and your theta is theta. Yeah, because it's the minor angle, right? So now you can just do it here, and you can get your theta from here. Okay, first thing should I expand this or no? Actually, I don't think you should expand. Yeah, because later the r can cut. Yeah, don't expand. I'll show you how. Okay, r plus r is 2r, right? Plus r theta equals to 3/2. And you realize this r can factorize. And then when you factorize, later can cut with the r atas. So it becomes r 2 pi minus theta. This one factorize r, left with 2 plus theta. equals to 3/2. So you see, can cut. And then you darab silang, cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, what you get? 2 times 2 pi, 4 pi minus 2 theta. And then 2 plus theta times 3, 6 plus 3 theta. 3 times 2, 6, 3 times 3 theta. Okay. All right, now I want to find theta. So how to do that? 4 pi plus 6 pindah sini jadi minus 6, minus 2 pindah jadi tambah 3 theta plus 2 theta, 5 theta. So to get your theta, it will be 4 pi minus 6 divide 5. And now you can get your theta. But when you tekan this in your calculator will give you in radian. Yeah, because later, just now you already assume the theta is in radian. So automatic, you tekan this, it will come out in radian. So let's press 4 pi minus 6. Okay, for the pi, they never say use, did they say use 3.142 or 22/7? They never mention it, right? Okay lah, I will just use 3.142 lah, whatever. So 4 times 3.142 minus 6 equals, and then divide 5. Okay, my calculator give me 1.3136. Okay, but I told you already, this is in radian. It automatic comes out in radian one. Okay, but the soalan wants to find theta in degree. Yeah, so it's not over yet. I still have to take 1.3136 times with 180 over pi. This is how you convert to degree. You times 180. So press answer times 180 divide 3.142. Okay, my calculator give me 75 degree 15 minutes. Okay, so this is the answer. If you want to write in decimal, can also. In decimal, it will be 75.25 degree. Okay, 75.25 degree. Okay, can also. But usually I always teach my student to write in degree minute. For this chapter, I teach them to write in degree minute. But you can write in decimal. Yeah, it's the same. Can also. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. I will continue now. Okay, number 7. This is a quadratic question, right? I can see this is in vertex form already. So what they want here? A, find the value of integrate p to p fx dx. Okay, sorry. This is not a quadratic chapter. I silap. I thought it's a quadratic chapter because I saw like vertex form. I was ready to take the turning point already, right? But then when I read this part, I realized, oh, never mind. This is not quadratic question. If it's quadratic question, then obviously you have to take out the turning point, like all those things lah. But no, this is not a quadratic. This is a integration question. So I don't think you need to take out turning point or take out the axis of symmetry or whatever. I don't think you need to do that. So the answer for A is 0. Because if they integrate this number and this number same, automatic the answer will be 0. It doesn't matter what's inside here, doesn't matter. When the when the limit here is same, atas bawah nombor sama, it will be 0. Okay, because you learn about the properties. Okay, let me give you the notes. So you learn about the properties of definite integral. Dalam bahasa Melayu, ciri-ciri kameran tentu. Okay, ciri-ciri kameran tentu. And you learn about the properties. First property, if I give you integrate k fx dx, and let's say this is BA, first property, the k you can put in front. This is the first property you learn, right? Second property, when I give you integrate BA fx dx, right? Okay, I don't want to write this line because it looks like negative. So okay, integrate BA, you can change to integrate. You can terbalik these two number. It means like from A to B now becomes from B to A, fx dx. But if you want to terbalik the number, you have to put negative here. Okay. Okay, next one. If you give you integrate C to B fx dx plus with integrate B to A fx dx, it can become integrate C to A fx dx. Because if you have two separate integral tambah together, and if dalam sini benda yang sama, then and also the atas number bawah sama, you can cut. So you left with atas C, bawah A like this. Okay. Alright. So this is the third property you learn. Okay, ada lagi dua. So I need space. Okay, so apa lagi property yang you belajar? Okay, I remember already. Integrate BA bracket fx plus minus gx dx. So if you have a single integral and there is two function inside like this, you can pecahkan. And when you pecah, it becomes integrate BA fx dx plus minus integrate BA gx dx. This one, right? And then the last final integral you learn is integrate AA fx dx will be 0, right? So these are the 5 properties that you learn. Okay, and if you are my student, you know about this for sure, because when I teach my own student, I let them copy salin this nota one, and I also ask them to memorize this. Okay, but let's come back to the question. So now you understand why this one is zero, because the number atas bawah sini sama. Okay, so the property says when the number same here, it will be zero. Okay, now we do B. So B, they says integrate 2, 1 fx dx equals to 2m minus 1. But now your fx looks like this. And do you know when before you do differentiation or integration, if your equation can expand, you should expand first. So I don't want to integrate first. I want to expand first. So this one you should expand it so that it looks like general form first. So how to expand? -2 bracket, the x minus 3 square, you expand, it becomes x square. And then x times -3x times 2, -6x. And then -2 square plus 9, and then minus 3 like this. And then take the -2, expand, -2x square plus 12x, -2 expand, -18, minus 3 terus lah, dapat -21, right? Okay, so now your equation cannot expand already. So now when you integrate, it becomes easier. So now it will become integrate from 1 to 2, fx dx, and this is your fx, right? And then take this one, the one after you expand one, and then dx equals to 2m minus 1. All right, so I am sure the 2m minus 1, this one is for now is not useful, because we haven't done integrating here. I think I have to finish integrating here, then only I can look at the 2m minus 1. So how to integrate this is I will open bracket, integrate. When you integrate, you have to take power plus 1 and then divide with the new power. So it becomes -2x power 3 over 3. This is how you integrate. Integrate 12x becomes 12x, power 1 plus 1 is power 2, divide with new power. What happens when you integrate a number? 21. Okay, when you integrate number, just letak x aja. If it's dx, letak x lah. If it's dy, letak y. And then tutup bracket, and then 2, 1. Now, the 12 and 2, you can simplify, just cut. When you cut, left with 6x squared, right? And now your job is to sub the 2 inside. When you sub the 2 inside, you'll get an answer here. And then don't forget to sub 1 inside, and then in the middle here, minus lah. And don't forget to equals to 2m minus 1. All right, so this bracket is for you to sub 2 inside. Okay, let's sub 2. 2 power 3, 8. 8 times -2, -16 over 3. Okay, done. Sub 2 here, 2 square, 4. 4 times 6, 24. So plus 24, done. 2 times 21 is 42. So -42, done. Now sub 1 here. 1 power 3 is 1. 1 times -2 over 3, -2 over 3. What about here? 1 square, 1. 1 times 6, +6. Okay, done. 1 times -21, -21. Okay, done. Now we can use calculator, press this, and then pindah, then you get your answer. Okay, let's press. -16 over 3 plus 24 minus 42. Okay, -70 over 3. Tulis lah. And then here minus, so saya pun minus. What is -2 over 3 plus 6 minus 21? -47 over 3. So I have to use bracket. And then here is equals to 2m minus 1. Okay, now we can press this. Okay, minus jadi plus. What is -70 over 3 plus 47 over 3? You will get, I don't know, let's press -70 plus 47 divided by 3. Okay, -23 over 3. All right, but you know later have to pindah the -1 jadi +1, right? And then it goes to m. So what is your 2m now? -23 plus 1. Okay, -20 over 3. And for my final step is pindah the 2 lah. So you have to take this divide 2. -20 over 3 divide 2, -10 over 3. This is your final answer. Okay, -10 over 3. Okay, that's all. Okay, time to do number 8. Let's read the question. Given that coordinate A is -612, B is 2, 3 are 2 points on the Cartesian plane, and vector OC plus 4 vector OB equals OA. Find A coordinate of point C. Okay, before I start, this is a coordinate vector question. It's a coordinate vector question. Coordinate vector means this vector only involves I and J. Okay, I and J. I will, so your vector will look like this: xi plus yj. But you can also write this in this form, like this, xy. Tiada dua cara tulis, macam ni ataupun macam ni, right? And you need to know that the x represents the horizontal movement, y represents the vertical movement. X adalah untuk pergerakan yang kiri kanan, y adalah untuk pergerakan yang atas bawah, right? And if it's positive, then go atas, negative go bawah. And for this one, positive ke kanan, negative ke kiri, macam tu lah. Okay, if they give you point A is -612, it means your vector OA is -6i plus 12j. Yes, because if your if your coordinate A is -612, it means your A is like here, right? So if this is 12, that means your A is here. So from O to A, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. So it's like negative 6i plus 12j, like this, right? But let me change the way I write. I will write using bracket. So instead of writing like this, I'll write like a translation like this, negative 6, 12. Same with this. If B is 2, 3, it means your vector OB would be 2i plus 3j. And if you write in bracket, it would look like this, right? So now they say OC plus 4OB equals OA, find coordinate of C. Do you know that if they want to find point C, it means they want to find OC. It means they want to find vector OC. If you can convert the A coordinate to OA, you can also convert B to OB, right? That means you can convert OC back to coordinate C. Okay, understand, huh? Because the A can change to vector OA, the B coordinate can change to OB. It means to find coordinate C, you simply have to find vector OC first, and then you can just convert it back. Okay, because the O coordinate is 0, 0. Understand, huh? Okay, how to find OC? Use this information. They already said OC equals to what? Straight away pindah lah. OA plus 4OB straight away pindah, minus 4OB like this. So now you can just put in the vector OA, which is negative 6, 12, and then minus 4 vector OB, which is 2, 3, right? And now you have to take the 4 times. So when you take 4 times 2, you get 8. 4 times 3, you get 12. Minus, this one is negative 6, 12. Atas tolak atas, bawah tolak bawah. Ataupun you can cakap yang I tolak dengan I, J tolak dengan J lah. So what is negative 6i minus 8i? Negative 14i, or maybe like negative 14 lah. 12 minus 12 is 0. Okay, it means vector OC is negative 14i plus 0j. But they never ask for vector OC, they ask for coordinate C. So what do you think? What is the coordinate C? Negative 14, 0 lah, right? Because if the vector from O to C is negative 14, because it's from O from O is basically O is like 0, 0. So if I say vector OC, what it means is like you take the C coordinate minus the O coordinate. But if the O coordinate is 0, 0, that means the IJ, the depan punya number straight away, that is the coordinate already. Okay, that's the answer. I want to do B now. B asks us to find magnitude of AC. Magnitude formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. But for the bracket here inside, you have to masuk nombor depan IJ. Okay, and you don't go and tell me you masuk the negative 14, 0 ataupun you masuk negative 6, 12 or 2, 3. Okay, yeah, ini memang nombor depan IJ, but you cannot masuk this. You have to masuk for vector AC punya. Yeah, you have to masuk for AC punya vector in terms of IJ. So you need to find vector AC now in terms of IJ. And how to do that? Very easy. You take the C coordinate minus the A coordinate. Because we are finding vector from A to C. That means you will take C minus A. Because it's from A to C, so C minus A. So later your answer will be something I plus something J. Like this, right? And for this value, you will take C punya coordinate minus A punya coordinate, but the X coordinate lah. So the C punya X coordinate is negative 14 minus the A, which is negative 6, so plus 6. Minus 6, so plus 6. And then for this one, you have to take Y coordinate minus Y coordinate, but it's C minus A, so 0 minus 12, right? And then you will end up with the vector IJ, which is negative 8i minus 12j. But this is not your answer. They ask for magnitude. Magnitude, you have to use Pythagoras theorem. So the magnitude of AC will be square root, bracket square plus bracket square. And the bracket, you have to masuk nombor depan IJ, which is negative 8, negative 12. Okay, now you can use your calculator. And when you press calculator, what is 8 square plus 12 square? Okay, my calculator give me 208. So my calculator give me 208. Okay, if you can simplify the third, you better simplify. So 208 can simplify because 208 can divide by perfect square. So can you tell me what is the highest perfect square that the 208 can divide? 208 boleh bahagi dengan perfect square yang mana? Choose the paling tinggi one. So 208 can actually bahagi with 16. Yeah, because when you take 208 bahagi 16, you press calculator, they will give you 13. So you should, it means you can simplify this, right? And why I choose a perfect square to divide it so is so that later I can simplify square root 16, I get 4. So that's why you end up with this, right? So the answer is 4 square root 13. So that's the answer for B. Okay. Okay, for those students that want to convert to decimal, can also. You just tekan 4 times square root 13, right? In decimal, can also. Yeah, can also. Right? Boleh juga. Okay, but since later, because I saw the C question already, the C asked for unit vector. And I know when I do unit vector, I need my answer, I need the magnitude in this form. That is why I never write in decimal. It's because I saw the C question already. That's why I never write in decimal. But actually, you want to write in decimal here can also. Okay, yeah, yeah, no problem one. Okay, let's do the unit vector. First you need to have magnitude, because unit vector formula memang kena ada magnitude, and you have already, right? So yeah, straight away you can find the unit vector now. So unit vector of AC, yeah. So the formula for unit vector is 1 over magnitude times with the AC vector in terms of ij, and you have the magnitude of AC, which is 4 square root 13. So now you understand why I write in this form, instead of writing in the decimal. And then the unit vector, the vector AC in terms of ij is here, negative 8i minus 12j. So just masukkan saja lah. And then now you have to expand. So when you take negative 8 divide 4, you end up with negative 2 over square root 13i. Because the 8 and 4 cut already. But the square root 13 still duduk bawah. What about this? Negative 12 divide 4, you end up with negative 3, but the square root 13 still duduk bawah, and then j. So that's the answer. Ini jawapan untuk unit vector. Sudah siap. Okay, that's all. All right, let's do number 9. X is a continuous random variable which is normally distributed with a mean of 48 and variance 144. When you see the word normally, it means this is a normal distribution question and you need to use the Z value table. You need to use the Z score table to do this question, right? So they give us the mean and they give us the variance. But in normal distribution, we don't care about the variance. We don't need the variance actually. Because in normal distribution, it's all about Z value. And how we convert to Z is take the X minus mean divide standard deviation. We don't use the variance in normal distribution lah. Only in normal distribution, the variance is not helpful. So what we should do is convert this to standard deviation. And how you do that? Just square root 144 and you get 12. All right, because the variance is 144 and then means the standard deviation is 12, and we will not look at the 144 anymore. Yeah, we don't look at that. For normal distribution, we don't care about the variance. It's not important. Variance is not important in normal distribution. So now A says what? The value of Z score, find the value of Z score when X is 63.2. Easy lah, just use this formula. So Z equals to X minus mean 48 over standard deviation 12. And the 63.2 is the X. So this X is 63.2. So now you can find your Z lah. Your Z score will be 63.2 minus 48. Press calculator. And then answer divide 12. Okay, 1.267. Okay, I will write in 3 decimal place. You know why? Because when you baca you punya jadual, when you baca your baca dari luar, when you baca from outside here, and if you have the Z value, you can only baca the Z value until 3 decimal place. Here is like for what, first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place. That is why when you baca from the outside, you will only write 3 decimal place. But when you baca from the inside, then it's different. From the inside, you can baca until 4 decimal place, 5 decimal place one. But when you baca dari luar, baca from outside, you can only baca until 3 decimal place, right? So that's why this one I write in 3 decimal place only, because this is the Z value. This is not the area, not the answer. It's not the probability answer. It's the Z value. Z value, you can only baca sampai 3 decimal place. But when you get the probability answer, it can go until 4 decimal place, 5 decimal place. Right? Okay, hope you understand. Okay, B says what? Find the value of K when Px smaller K is this. So first thing is convert to Z first lah. Yeah, because this is normal distribution, you have to convert to Z, and then you have to use jadwal, right? And then you have to use jadwal to get the answer. Okay, so how to convert Z? Take the X, which is K, minus mean divide standard deviation. Mean is 48, standard deviation is 12, and then equals to 0.3483. Okay, dalam ni tak boleh buat, right? You cannot do it because you don't know the value of K. And when you don't know how to do it, you can let C equals K minus 48 over 12. This is how I teach my student. Whenever you can't buat yang dalam ni, you just let C equals, and then you do, and then you rewrite Pz smaller than C equals to 0.3483. It means you change this to C sementara, like for temporary. Later you have to change it back. Like for now, just change it for temporary only. Okay, so now you will try to sketch, you will try to draw, because now you cannot look at your jadwal. You can only look at your jadwal when it's Z bigger positive. Now it's Z smaller and you don't even know your C is positive or negative. So it's like you don't know. So what you have to do is you have to draw the bell shape, and you have to draw how many times? 2 times. Why draw 2 times? Because you don't know your C positive or negative. So one you have to draw when the C is negative, another one you draw C is positive. But only one of these is correct. Okay, later you will only end up choosing one of this, right? Only one of these is correct. Okay, but let's shade the region first. So this symbol is smaller, it means you have to shade the left side. So the left side of C, so this one is left side. Okay, which one will you choose? Which one will be the correct one? Only one of these is correct. Huh? So if you want to know which one is the correct one, you have to look at the probability value, or you can say like look at the area lah. So the probability ataupun the area, if it's more than 0.5, then you choose the besar punya kawasan. If it's less than 0.5, then you choose the small punya kawasan. So now it's 0.34 something. So you have to, it's lesser than 0.5. So go with the smaller punya kawasan. That means your C is negative. It means this is wrong and this is correct. So it means C is negative. And if your C is negative, you should straight away go to your last baris, tulis siap-siap, C equals to negative. So that later your answer, you you know it's negative already lah. Okay. And the reason why you have to tulis siap-siap is because most of the student will forget to write the negative at the end. And then they bought salah. Okay. So now tell me, if this is negative, what you can do? Smaller negative can change to bigger positive, right? Yeah, because this one is smaller negative. When you have these two combinations, smaller negative, you can flip to bigger positive because this is symmetrical. Smaller negative and bigger positive C will give you the same area, same probability. That's why you can flip those equals to 0.3483. And since now it's already bigger positive, now you can tengok jadual. But when you tengok jadual, you get the answer. Don't forget there is a negative in front, right? So now what I will do is I'll go to my jadual, but I will not find tengok dari I will not tengok dari outside. I will not tengok dari luar. I kena tengok dari dalam. You know why, right? Because you don't have the Z value. You don't have the Z value. You don't have. It's like question mark. You don't have the Z value. What you have is the probability or the area answer. So you have to go look for 0.3483 dalam here. So you will go and find 0.3483 dalam here. And if don't have, you try to find lebih sikit. So you try to cari 0.3483 ataupun lebih sikit. So okay, this set don't have jadual. So let me open up the file. You wait for me. Okay, let me take out the file 2023. Okay, let me wait for me. I take out the Malacca paper. Tunggu saya, tunggu saya, tunggu saya. Okay, sudah dapat. Okay, let me scroll to the jadwal. Okay, what's the value just now? 0.3483. So you will go to the jadwal and tengok dari dalam. It means you will go look for 0.3483 in like in dari dalam lah. So let's try to find 0.3483 atau lebih sikit. 3483 or lebih sikit. So here is 343446 3483. This is 3483, right? And you don't have to find lebih sikit already because it's like exactly 3483 you have already. So the answer will be on the outside, which is 0.39. You don't have to look at this column. This column you only look when you have to tolak, right? But since it's already exactly 3483, you don't have to minus anything. So the answer will have two decimal place only. 0.39 is your answer. But negative, negative, I keep on reminding already, negative 0.39. Why negative? Because just now you do experiment already, right? The C is negative, right? So remember, most students will forget the negative one. They always forget to put a negative, right? And then lose marks already. Okay, this is not your answer. This is just the C. They're asking for K. Do you remember just now you temporarily change this whole thing to C? So now after you already get C, you have to change it back. So it will become K minus 48 over 12 equals to negative 0.39. Okay, it means the C you change it back to the K minus 48 divided by 12. Okay, how to find K now? Press calculator. Negative 0.39 times 12 plus 48. Okay, my calculator give me 43.32. And that's your answer. Yeah, itu jawapan dia. Right? Okay, done. Okay, let's do number 10. Okay, number 10, let's read. In a survey conducted on students in a school, it was found that 1 out of 5 do not have a smartphone. So probability no phone is 1 over 5. Then what is the probability of has phone? It will be 1 minus 1 over 5, which is 4 over 5. So when you have one probability, you can always find the other probability. Just take 1 minus. Okay, because total probability is 1. So remember, when you are doing in an exam, if they give you one of the probabilities, straight away find the other one. Okay, yeah, you can find the other one straight away, man. Okay, now let's see what they want. If 6 students are randomly selected from school, find the probability that at least 3 people do not have smartphone. Okay, by the way, what is this chapter? What chapter is this? This is also under probability distribution. Same with number 9. But number 9 is a normal distribution. Number 10 is a binomial distribution. Yeah, so number 10, you don't need to use the other one because this is binomial. Binomial distribution, under this binomial, you only learn 4 formulas. 4 formulas saja. First formula is the probability formula. NCX, P power X, Q power N minus X. Second formula you learn is the mean formula, NP. Third formula you learn is the variance, which is NPQ. And then standard deviation formula is square root NPQ. These are the four formulas you learn under binomial distribution, right? But if it's a normal distribution, then you don't use this four formula. Normal distribution, you use jadual. That one you use the Z value table. That one lain. Okay, now I come back here. They asking you to find probability. So obviously you use this formula lah. This formula is used to find probability. But wait, find out your NPQ first. If you don't find your NPQ, how you supposed to use this formula, right? So the N is given 6 because they say 6 students selected, right? And then what about the P and Q? Okay, P will be the probability of success. Q is probability of failure. The probability of success depends on what they want to find. They want to find at least 3 do not have smartphone, right? It means probability of success will be probability of no phone. 105. And then the failure will be the one has phone. Okay. And then what about your X? Your X, you write all the possibilities. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of students don't like to write this, including my own student. I always tell them to write, but they don't want to listen. They always don't want to write. And then they forget the 0, and then they blame, I don't know, blame everyone except himself. Okay. Okay. So it's like you have to write all these things because you will forget. You will make careless mistake if you don't. Make sure you write this. Okay, let me tell you what this means. It means there is 6 students selected. Maybe out of 6, 0 success. It means 0 do not have phone. Or maybe 1 success, 1 do not have phone. Success means no phone. Or maybe out of 6, 2 success. It means 2 no phone. Or maybe 3 no phone, 4 no phone, 5 no phone, 6 no phone. It means 6, enam pun no phone, enam pun success. That's what it means. So these are all the possibilities. But you don't have to do all of it. They are only asking you to find at least 3 success. It means at least 3 no phone lah. So you just do at least 3. So you only do 3, 4, 5, 6. Because at least 3 means 3 also included. Okay, there is a quick, faster way to do this. If you don't want to do 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, you can take 1 minus 0 minus 1 and minus 2. You can also do it like this. Okay, you will get the same answer. All right. But if you want to do 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, can also. Yeah, can also. Okay, now it's time to use the formula. The formula is NCX, so 6C0. Probability of success 1 over 5, probability of failure 4 over 5, and then the power will be same with the number down here, and then 6 minus 0, 6. Okay, minus same formula, 6C1 this time. Probability of success 1 over 5, probability of failure 4 over 5. The power here is 1, the power is 5. Okay, 6 minus 1. Last one, 6C2, power, bracket 1 over 5, bracket 4 over 5. The power here will be 2 because this one is 2, 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, now we can press calculator and then we'll get the answer. Okay, 6C0 tak payah tekan because it's 1. 1 over 5 power 0 pun tak payah tekan is 1. So just tekan 4 over 5 power 6. Okay, my calculator give me 0.2621. Just write 4 significant figure. So that's all. Okay, for this one, let's press 6 times 1 over 5 times bracket 4 over 5 power 5. Okay, my calculator give me 0.3932. So just write it 3932. And then the last part, 6C2 times 1 over 5 power 2, which is 1 over 25. And then times 4 over 5 power 4. So use bracket. Okay, my calculator give me 0.24576. 0.24576. So I think you know what to do now. Just take 1 minus everything. Alright, so let's press 1 minus answer minus 0.3932 minus 0.2621. Okay, finally my calculator give me already, it's 0.09894. Okay, 0.09894. Yep, that's the answer. This is the probability. Okay, now we continue and now we can do part B. Okay, part B, I'll do it here. Let's read the question. If the number of students in the school is 705, calculate the standard deviation of the number of students who do not own smartphone. So it means your probability of success is still 1 over 5. Because the success is still for student yang tak ada smartphone, right? But now they want to find standard deviation and they give you the total number of students. So which formula you will use? Of course, the standard deviation formula lah. We are doing binomial distribution, all right? So binomial only have these 4 formula only. So square root NPQ is the formula. And they give you 705, but this time the probability of success is still for those who do not own smartphone, all right? But you have to read carefully because ada juga sometimes the question. Okay, yang sini dia jadikan success is no smartphone. But then ada juga soalan yang maybe in the B question they want the success to be yang ada smartphone one. Like there are ada macam tu one. Yeah, memang ada soalan macam ni. So you have to read carefully. That's why you see I underline it, I circle it. Alright, so you see it clearly. Okay, so the probability of success is still 1/5 lah, and the failure is still 4/5. Okay. Alright, so let's pass this in the calculator. Okay, my calculator give me 10.62. So that is the standard deviation. Okay, 10.62. Okay. Okay, let me write again. 10.62. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, now we are at question 11. Let's go. Soalan A. Using trigonometric ratio for special angles without using calculator, find the value of each of the following. Cos -225, cot 5/3 pi. Okay, what's the meaning of trigonometric ratio for special angle? This one means you cannot use calculator, you have to use the table. And if you are my student, you know about this table because I asked you all to memorize. Okay, so let me just draw the table for you. The trigonometric table, I mean the special angle that I asked student to hafal is 30 degree, 45 degree, and 60 degree. And here we have sine, here we have cos, here we have tangent. Okay. Okay, I already hafal it lah. I already hafal. Okay, but I don't know you got hafal or not. So I'll just tell you what's all these values. This one is 1/2, 1/2. Okay, it means this one and this one same. And this one cert 3/2, here also same, cert 3/2. And then these two same, 1/cert 2, 1/cert 2. And then this one is 1/cert 3, this one is 1, this one is cert 3. Okay, yeah, this is the table. Actually, there's another table also that you need to know, which is for 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Yeah, this is another table also that I ask students to memorize. Okay, but I'm not sure if this question got use this table or not. I feel like this question, the question 11 here, I think they only use this table, but it's okay lah. I'll write it for you and I will write you for you. I'll write it for you also. So it's 0, 0, 0. This one is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And this one sine 90 is 1, this one -1. This one cos is 1, 1 here like this. And then middle -1. This one is math error, so infinity. This one is negative infinity. So basically everything I write here, you need to have it memorized. You need to ada dalam otak semua ni. Kalau tak ada, that means you not ready for SPM. All these things need to have it ready in your head already. Okay, now I will start doing the question. Okay. So now they want to do question 1, cos -225. Okay, you need to know that if you are doing sine negative angle, the negative can letak depan jadi negative sine theta. Same with tangent, but for cos is different. Yeah, for cos negative theta, it will straight away cos negative theta will straight away same with cos theta, and then tangent negative, the negative can letak depan macam ni. It means kalau dia ada negative angle, negative boleh letak depan, tapi kalau cos sahaja yang special. So for cos the negative will just hilang terus, right? So cos -225 is basically same with cos 225. It's the same thing, right? So the negative you can just just let it, just erase it off. Okay? Kalau cos baru boleh buat macam ni. Yeah, because of this formula. Okay. Okay, now we try to find cos 225, but they say cannot use calculator. So we have to find the reference angle. So 225 is which quadrant? Quadrant 3 ma. So quadrant 3, how to get the reference angle? If it's quadrant 3, how to get the angle towards x-axis? You will minus 180, right? Because if you take this angle minus 180, then you will get the reference angle, the angle towards x-axis. So it's 225 minus 180. But wait, you have to check which quadrant positive. So add sugar to coffee. Third quadrant only tangent positive. So here you have to put negative. So now it becomes negative cos 45. And what is cos 45? It's here, 1/cert 2. So that's the answer. All right. So this is what it means when they say no, you calculator. You use the table lah. Okay, done. Let's do number 2. Number 2 asks us to find cot 5/3 pi. Cot 5/3 pi is the same as cot. Okay, this one is obviously in radian, right? So let's convert to degree times 180 over pi. So let's see what we get here. Cot pi boleh potong 360 times 5, 300. So cot is actually 1/10. So 1/tangent 300. And let's find the reference angle. Tangent, but make sure you leave an empty space here. Because later you have to check positive or negative. Okay, 300 is fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant means your angle is here, like this, 300. So how to get the reference angle? Reference angle means angle towards x-axis. You have to take 360 minus. And when you do that, you have to put negative or positive. Okay, add sugar to coffee. Fourth quadrant only cos positive. Now tangent, put a negative. So now it becomes 1 over negative tangent 60. So now it becomes 1 over negative tangent 60. And what's tangent 60? Refer the table, cert 3. So this is the answer. You can write again the negative. The negative is not, you want to letak bawah pun boleh, atas pun boleh, middle pun boleh, mana boleh. Okay, but I suka letak in the middle like this lah. So yeah, that's all. Okay, let's do B. Okay, B, solve the trigonometric equation, blah, 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 for the range 0 until 2 pi, give the answer in terms of pi. So later your answer would be in between 0 and 2 pi. It means they want in radian lah. And they also want in terms of pi. Okay, this is a bit different. They want in terms of pi. Okay, it's okay. Okay, tak apa. All right, so how do we solve this? Okay, they want to solve means they want to find x. Okay, they want to find x. So what you should do is you should expand. Sine x times sine x becomes sine square x. Sine x times negative 2 is negative 2 sine x. And for the cos 2x, this one you can use double angle formula. Cos 2x can change to three things. You can change to cos square minus sine square. It can also change to 1 minus 2 sine square. And you can also change to 2 cos square minus 1. Okay, I know this is because I have already. But this formula is given in exam. Yeah, it's given in exam. But actually you should hafal it lah. You should memorize it. Because when you memorize it, you can take it out whenever you want. You boleh keluarkan bila-bila masa. Okay, what do you think I will change? Cos 2x, boleh change to yang mana? Yang ada sin, ada cos, ataupun yang ada sin only or yang ada cos only? Mestilah tukar yang ada sin only. 1 minus 2 sin square x. Why? Because you want your equation to have only sign, right? Because now your equation will be a quadratic equation already. It will be a quadratic equation yang melibatkan sign. So now you can find the answer lah. So yang ada square kita kena tulis dulu. So minus 2 pindah jadi plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3 sin square. Okay, try to arrange it because it's a quadratic. So minus 2 sin x plus 1 jadi minus 1 equals 0. And now you can factorize using calculator. But when you factorize, the answer will not be the answer for x. It will be the answer for sin x. Okay, sin x. Because this is a quadratic equation where the b is sin x. Not b lah. I mean it's a quadratic equation involving sin x, not x. It's not this. It's not like this. It's not the same with this. Okay, this one and this one will give you same answer. But when you tekan this, you get for x answer. The answer will be the answer for x. But this one, the answer will be the answer for sin x. Okay. Okay. Hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Now we press calculator. The A you masuk 3 . And then the B you masuk negative 2, C negative 1. Okay, my calculator give me 1 and negative 1 over 3. 1 and negative 1 over 3. But that's not the x answer, that's the sin x answer. So how can you write yang atas? How can you write the bracket? So it will be sin x minus 1 lah. Okay, because you have to bring it over, means you have to do it in reverse. And then the 3 you have to bring it jadi darab times 3 sin x, and then minus 1 jadi plus 1. So that when you pindah balik, dia jadi plus 1 jadi minus 1 times 3 jadi over 3. So that it becomes negative 1 over 3. Okay, now for this, you have to determine whether it's a normal case or special case. If it's a normal case, you just tekan shift sign and then get the reference angle and then change to the quadrant you want, if it's normal case. But if it's a special case, then you cannot tekan shift sign. You have to hafal and write down the answer. Because for special case, the answer doesn't belong to any quadrant. And you need to hafal lah. And how many special case you belajar? Got 7 special case. And kebetulan, I write it just now already. Because when I do A just now, I write the special case for you. So got 7. 1, 2, 3. Wait. No. Sine 0. Okay. So yeah, sine theta equals 0. Okay, and then sine equals 1. And then sine equals negative 1. Okay, these are the 3 special case. And then cos equals 0, cos equals 1, cos equals negative 1, and then tangent equals 0. So these are the 7 special case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means if it's one of these 7 special case, you cannot use calculator. You have to hafal this table and write the answer. For example, let's say it's this one. Cos theta is 0. You should straight away write the theta is 90, 270. Right? Because it's special case. Okay, 90 and 270. So cos 0, cos what give you 0? 90 and 270. Yeah, because I hafal this table, that's why. Right? Another one, let's say like sine equals to 1. So sine equals to 1, got one answer only, 90. Just write one answer. Okay. But ada juga yang ada 3 jawapan. Like sine 0, it will give you 3 answer. 0, 180, 360. That's why you cannot use calculator. That's why it's called special case. Okay, because the answer doesn't belong to any quadrant, and you can't find out, like you can't use calculator for the special case. All right, now you tell me, this is special case or normal case? Sine 1. This one is special case. So for special case, no calculator. You have to hafal sine berapa dapat 190, and that's the answer. Okay, for this one is normal case. For normal case, you can use calculator. And how you use calculator? You will pindah the sign to the other side, becomes sine inverse. But don't press the negative, please. Don't press the negative. The negative only indicates quadrant. When you're trying to get reference angle, don't press the negative. So just press shift sine 1/3 and then close bracket. I will usually write in degree minute. So 19 degree 28 minutes. But this is not the answer. This is just the RA, which is the reference angle. If you want to get the real angle, you still have to convert to the quadrant. Which quadrant? Okay, sine negative. So add sugar to coffee. If sine positive, quadrant 1, quadrant 2. Sine negative, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. So you need to convert this to quadrant 3, quadrant 4. But how to convert to quadrant 3, quadrant 4? Very easy. Just take 180 plus and then 360 minus. Okay, so I hope you know how to convert. This one you pernah belajar. So 199 degree 28 minute is your answer. And then the other one is 360 minus, because you want quadrant 4, right? Okay, let me press. My calculator give me 340 degree 32 minutes. So that's the answer. Okay, but the soalan mentioned in terms of pi. So I think I have to convert to radian lah. Because in terms of pi means they want in radian. So how to convert? X equals, okay, if you convert this, it will be 0.5 pi. Because it's like 90 times pi over 180, right? And then cut is just 0.5 pi, right? Okay, but for this one, how to convert? So you will press this one. Okay, when you convert, you have to take angle times with pi over 180. So basically, you're just taking the angle bahagi 180, right? So you just press this one bahagi 180. That's all. So just press 199 degree, 28 minute, divide 180. Yeah, that's all. And then write in decimal 1.108. But of course, you have to write the pi lah. Yeah, got pi. And then the other one, 340 degree 32 minute, and then just divide 180. Okay, just divide 180. Okay, my calculator give me 1.892. Okay, and don't forget to write pi lah. Okay, and all this is in radian. So let's write radian. Okay, I just write red is good enough lah. So red. Okay, don't write here lah. We write in the final answer. So the final answer here, x equals, okay, start with the smallest answer, 0.5 pi radian, followed by 1.108 pi radian, and then the last one, 1.892 pi radian. Okay, you should be able to get full marks if you write like this. Okay, all right, hope you understand. Okay, let's do number 12. So this is the last question in section A. Okay, and then we will move on to section B. Okay, 12A. A box contains 10 ping pong balls labeled with different one-digit numbers. Okay, to let you imagine it better, I will draw it out for you. 1 ball, 2 ball, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 balls. And all the balls are labeled with different one-digit numbers. So, one-digit numbers, 1, digit 2, digit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this must be 0 lah. So you can see that all the balls are labeled with different, we have different labeling, right? So find the number of ways to choose 4 ping pong balls from the box. It means you are only finding number of ways to choose. You are not arranging the balls. So the order of arrangement is not important. The order is not important. If the order is not important, you will not use permutation, you will use combination. So don't use P, use C. And the answer is very easy. It's just 10C4. Because got 10 balls, you choose 4 balls. So the number of ways to choose is 10C4. Press calculator, you will get 210. That's all. Okay, sudah siap. What about B? Find the number of ways to choose 5. So if no condition means 10C5 lah. But then they say if all ping pong balls with prime numbers must be selected. So let's find out which one is prime number. 2, 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 5 prime, 7, and I think that's all. 0 is not prime, come on, no, please. So it's only 2, 3, 5, 7 is prime. You know what is prime number, right? If you want to take SPM, you don't know what is prime number, then cannot lah. Okay, prime number means the number only have 2 factor. It means dia boleh bahagi dia sendiri and bahagi satu. Okay, 1 is not prime number because 1 only have 1 factor. It can only divide by 1. So dia special sikit. So it's not prime number. Prime number kena ada 2 factor. Okay. Alright. So yang inilah prime number 2, 3, 5, 7. But then they say he want to choose 5 ping pong ball. It means, but there's only 4 prime number. And if you want to select all the prime number, it means 4C4. It means out of the 2, 3, 5, 7, all these must get chosen lah. It must get chosen. All these must get chosen. So it will be 4. It has to choose all these 4. But to cukupkan 5 ball, you still have to choose 1 more. And this 1 more, you have to choose from the remaining how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the remaining 6 ball, you choose another one and then times. And then you will get the answer. All right. And if you press this, you will get 6. Okay. So the number of ways here is 6 ways. All right. Okay. That's all. Let's do B. Diagram 4 shows 8 label cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But be careful, there's a identical letters here, identical object. So when we're doing identical, we have to be careful. Okay, let's see. Calculate number of different ways to arrange. So it's a permutation question. Arrange means the order is important. So arrange in one row if there is no restriction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, if you want to arrange all, it will be 8 factorial. But there is identical A and A. So you have to divide with 2 factorial. And that's the answer. Okay, this is the only identical A. N tak ada repeat, U tak ada repeat, G tak ada, E tak ada repeat, R tak ada repeat, H only A repeat. So the formula is 8 factorial divided 2 factorial. This is how you do it when you have repetition, when you have identical object. Alright, let's press calculator. 8P8 divide 2. Okay, I get it. 20160. So this is the number of ways. Number 2, vocal must be arranged together. Okay, there's 8 cards, so there should be 8 spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the vocal must be together. Vocal means like the vowel lah, vowel. Okay, what is vowel? So we have A and also U also vowel, E also vowel, right? So we have how many vowels? 4 vowels. So if the 4 vowels must be together, it means the A, U, E, A, we have to group together. It means now this is like you group them up. And when you group them up, it means that you are no longer arranging 8 different things. You are only arranging 5 because this becomes 1 already. So it's like you're arranging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because this thing must stick together. It cannot separate. They cannot separate. It's like you already put super glue here, like they have to stick together. So it's like this is count this as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're arranging 5 things. So it's 5 factorial. But don't forget to times with 4 factorial. You know why? Because the AUEA, walaupun you cannot separate them together, but they can arrange between themselves. It means it can be AUEA, AEA, AEAU, EAUA, or like they can arrange within themselves. That's why the 4 factorial, it can arrange itself inside this group, right? And since they have 2 identical object here, you have to divide 2 factorial here. Okay, because of the identical AA 2 times. Then that's how you do it. Then you will get your answer. Okay, so what is 120 times 24 divided 2? Okay, the answer is 1440. Okay, okay, that's the answer, right? So, yep, sudah siap. Okay, let's do bahagian B now. Bahagian C says, bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I will jawab all 3 questions. Yeah, I'll jawab all 3. Okay, okay, let's go. 13A. In an arithmetic progression, so we know already it's a progression question. Sum of first 4 term is 34. Okay, straight away we see our first information already. S4 equals 34. So I will write the working here. S4 equals 34. And it's an arithmetic. And then the sum of next 4 term is 82. It means Okay, next 4 term. Okay, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the sum of first 4 term here is 34. And then the next 4 term. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum of next 4 term is 82. It means this 82 is actually T5 plus T6 plus T7 plus T8. Do you agree? Because the next 4 term, right? But I don't like to write like this. I don't like to write like this. I will write S8 minus S4 instead. Understand, right? Because S8 is the sum of first 8 terms minus with the sum of first 4 terms is 82 lah. Actually, this one, S8 minus S4 is the same as this. This one is the same meaning actually. Okay, but I would prefer to write like this. Okay, I prefer to write like this. Okay, but it's the same meaning. Okay, now they say find the first term and common difference. Okay lah, can do already. First, the S4 you can ganti 34. So just masukkan 34 like this because you have already. So your S8 is what? So your S8 will be, uh, excuse me, your S8 will be 82 plus 34. You will end up with, let's press 116. Okay, so just press calculator. Huh? Okay, now you have two information, S8 and S4, but they ask you to find A and D, the first term and common difference. So you need to use the SN formula. So let me make some space. I need space here. So which formula you will use? The SN formula. And do you know what's the SN formula? For arithmetic, the SN formula looks like this. Where should I write it? I write it here. Sn equals to n over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. So this is the formula that we will use now. Okay, for the S434, let's go. N over 2, so 4 over 2, big bracket 2a. A I don't have, I want to find, so it's okay. Plus n minus 1, 4 minus 1 is 3d equals 34, right? Okay, 4 divided 2 is 2, and 34 divided 2, 17 here. This is 2a plus 3d. Okay, this is your first equation. Next equation, okay, S8, 116, right? So n over 2, 8 over 2, big bracket 2a plus n minus 1, which is 7d equals to 116. 8 divide 2, cut, left with 4. 116 divide 4, press calculator, you will get 30. Sorry, 20. 116 divide 4. 29. All right, so 29. So 2a plus 7d equals 29. Now you have two equations here. This is your first equation. This is your second equation. You can do simultaneous. And you can see the 2a is already same, right? So why not you just write this 2a, the other equation, just write it down here. And then do elimination. You buat penghapusan cara. Try to eliminate the 2a. So you will minus lah. 2a minus 2a, 0. 70 minus 3d, 4d. 29 minus 17 is 12. So d is 3 ah. And after you get your d, sub inside, sub back, so that you can find your a. So d ganti 3 equals 17. So your 2a equals to 17 minus 9. What is 17 minus 9? Press calculator. 8. So your a is equals to 4. That means your final answer, a equals 4, d equals 3. And that's what they asked for, right? First term and common difference. Okay, so that's it. 3 marks for this. All right. Okay, B. The English part is way down here. Okay, okay, boleh. All right, B is here. Oh, what happened? What happened? Okay, sorry. Okay, B. Two tanks, namely tank 1 and tank 2, respectively contain 3,500 liters of oil and 2,700 liters of oil. So tank 1, 3,500 liter, tank 2, 2,700. Due to occurrence of leakage in both tanks, the oil in these two tanks is measured again every 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes, the liter decrease. Yeah, it will become sikit because got start leaking already. It was found that the decrease in the amount of oil followed a geometric pattern. So it's a geometric progression where the amount of oil in tank 1 decreased by 12%, amount of oil in tank 2 decreased in 9% for every 20 minutes. If this observation is started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, at what time will the amount of oil in tank 1 will be less than the amount of oil in tank 2 for the first time? Okay, I think I have to write down the information. Yeah, so I need some space here. I really need a lot of space. So what should I do? Okay, I will just get a new. I need some space. So let me just create a document here. I will make it like line landscape. Okay, I'll just do it here. Okay, imagine you have tank one, and you have tank two, right? Tank two. So tank one, what is the volume? So if you look back here, the tank one is 3,500 liter and 2,700 liter. Okay, so the progression here will be the first term here will be 3,500 liters, and then this one will be 2,700 liters, right? That's the first term. So it means the A is 3,500 here, the A, and then the A first term here is 2,700. But then they both decrease. Right? Due to occurrence every 20 minutes, it was found that decrease in the amount of oil. Okay, here, amount of oil in tank 1 decreased by 12%, and then tank 2 is 9%. So this one have to decrease 12%, and then the other one is minus 9% every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes. Okay, so after 20 minutes, what's the new liter? It will be 3,500. It will be 3,500 times with, okay, what's 100 minus 12? 100 minus 12. Uh, 88. So you have to times with 88%. Hey, wait, you all understand, right? Why I times 88%? It's because you decrease 12% already. So the remaining will be 88% from 3,500 lah. Actually, you want to deduct 12% can also. If you deduct 12%, you have to minus lah. After you deduct 12%, take the 3,500 minus the answer. Can also. But if you do it like this, it's faster. You straight away times 88%. So 3500 times 88 over 100. So this is your new volume, 3080. And let's do it again, times 88% again. So you will get 2710.4 liter. And it keeps going. So now you can find your common ratio. It will be 0.88 lah. Because every time you times 0.88, right? So this is your geometric form from tank 1. Okay, what about tank 2? You minus 9%. So what is the fast way to do it? Okay, of course, you can take 2,700 times 9%, but if you do it like that, very slow. And also, after you times 9%, you have to take 2,700 minus the answer. I don't like. Why not you straight away take 2,700? You straight away times with 91% lah. Because you decrease 9% means the remaining left is the 91%. So you do like that, it's faster. 27 times 91, 2457 liters, right? And then times with 91% again. Because every 20 minutes it will decrease 9%. So after another 20 minutes, you get 2235.87. And it just keep decreasing until I don't know when lah. Okay, so what's the R? The R will be 0.91. Yes, 0.91. Okay, because every 20 minutes, you will times 0.91. Okay, I think I read everything nicely. Now let's go back to the question. Decrease 12%. Decrease. Okay, everything is good. If this observation started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 p.m., 1 p.m. What time the amount of our tank 1 will be less than for the first time? So we can see that the tank 1 is not less than now, right? Now it's like more than. The tank 1 is more than. After 20 minutes, also more than. After another 20 minutes, also still more than. So they are asking you at which point where the tank 1 will be start being less than this, right? So how I will do it is, uh, I think I will just keep on dividing lah. I think I'll just keep on direct. I'll just do it like manually. Yeah, I think it's like way better because you can see that this one is 2,700, this one is 2,200, right? So let's try to times again with 0.88 because this one decreased 12%, right? So what is 2710.4 times with 88%? So you get 2385.152 liters. And then let's take this one, 2235.87 times with 0.91. So you get 2034.64, right? So you can see that at the fourth term, the tank 1 is still more than the tank 2, right? Then we do again. So the 2303.64, I will times with 0.91. So this one is 1851.52. Okay, what about this? 2385.152 times 0.88. 2098.93. Okay, still more than 8, so times again. Times 0.88 again. 1847.06. And then this one times with 0.91, right? So 1851.52, 1851.52 times with 0.91. So I get 1684.88. Okay, it's still more than 8. Okay, I do again. Okay, but it's very slow, right? It's very slow. Is there a better method? Is there a better way to like find out? So Tn, if you find Tn and find the Tn here, and you want this Tn to be what? Be less than this, right? Uh, so I think I will not do it like this. It's very slow, yeah. So let's try to find the Tn, right? Let's try to find Tn. But T berapa, I don't know. Yeah, because I do yeah, so the n I'll just leave it for now. So I think I'll just put Tn, and then the formula I use, it will be AR power n minus 1. So 3,500 times with 0.88 power n minus 1. And I'm already stuck here already. Cannot continue already. And then for the Tn here will be 2,700 times with 0.91 power n minus 1. and you want the tank 1 to be less than this for the first time, right? So what I will do is I will take this answer less than this. Yeah. It's better do it like this. I just realized it's so much better. Okay, let me erase all this. Yeah, so actually this is not necessary because it will take very long. Okay. At first I thought doing like this is easier because I thought like maybe at the fourth term or fifth term, maybe like at the fourth term, fifth term, then the tank 1 would be less than tank 2 already. But I realized the answer is very big. That's why I give up already. Okay, so this you want this to be less than, right? Is that what the question want? Let me read again carefully. At what time the amount of all in tank 1 will be less than tank 2 for the first time? Yeah lah. So you want the tank 1 to be less than it. So the tank 1 3,500 times with 0.88 power n minus 1 because that's the Tn. You want it to be less than the tank 2, right? So you use this for symbol 2,700 0.91 power n minus 1. Okay, so how we will pinna this? Uh, the 0.88 power n minus 1, I will divide with this 0.91 power n minus 1. Yes. Okay. And then for the 2,700, I will divide with 3,500. Okay, even though this one, the base is not same, but the power is same. And do you know if you have two numbers, like for example, like this, if you have two numbers, walaupun base dia tak sama, tapi power dia sama, you can actually divide the number. If the power same lah, if the power same, you can actually do it like this actually. So actually we can apply this in our working. Just write power n minus 1 and then just press calculator 0.88 divide 0.91. So you will get like 88 over 91 lah. And then on the other side, 27 divide 35, which is 27 over 35. And we all know that this is like an indices question now, right? And they are both side is like fraction, so it means like decimal. So definitely you can't change to same base. So definitely your n would be like an ugly answer later. Like not ugly answer lah. Yeah lah, it's like banyak other point lah. Your n answer would be like ada decimal. Okay, jawapan yang ada point. So apa yang you kena buat sekarang is tambah log both sides. Yeah, and you will use log base 10. Right, base 10. So 88 over 91 here, the power can bring in front. And then here is 27 over 35. And now you can find n minus 1. Just press this one, bahagi this one. Bahagi, divide. So let's press log base 10, 27 over 35, divide log base 10, 88 over 91. Okay, my calculator give me 7.741. 7.741. But this one is 7.741. But be careful here. The symbol here have to write bigger or smaller. Okay, this one is smaller, right? But here cannot write smaller. Here have to write bigger. You know why? Why have to terbalik? It's because you divide with negative. Right? Okay, maybe you say, hey sir, this one where got negative? Okay, if you press this separately, log 88 or 91, you will get negative. If you don't believe me, you can press now. Shift log, I mean like log base 10, 88 over 91. So yeah, they really give you negative 0.0 something. It means this, when you tekan this single, tekan this and this separately, both will give you negative answer. That's why negative bahagi negative give you positive here, right? So that's why when you divide negative, you have to terbalikkan. Just remember this, when you tekan log 0 point something, you will always get negative. Doesn't matter 0 point what, as long as like log 0 point something, you always get negative. Okay, that's why I know this is negative, right? But you can just check in your exam. If you're not sure, just check in the calculator lah. Just press on the spot, then you can find out already whether you got divide negative or not, right? Okay, so now it becomes n bigger than 7.741 plus 1, which is 8.741. But the n cannot be decimal. It has to be like an integer one. Because they're asking like how many terms, right? N is like number of terms. So it'll be 9 lah. Because what integer is greater than 8.741? 9. And 10 is also greater, but they ask which one for the first time. You remember the question asked for the first time? You see, at what time will the amount less than amount for the first time? So for the first time is at the 9th term lah. But you cannot write this as your answer because they got mentioned what time. And they say start at 1 p.m. So what I have to do is, my answer here will be 1 p.m. Okay, time. What time? So I'll just write time will be 1 p.m. plus with what? Okay, because they mentioned, right, every 20 minutes it will leak into this, right? So imagine if it's at the ninth term. So leak how many, you have to tambah how many 20 minutes. So at the second term, when it's second term, you plus 20 minutes what sekali. When it's the third term, you tambah 20 minutes dua kali. So can you tell me, when you reach the ninth term, you tambah 20 minutes berapa kali? 8 kali lah. It means it will be 1 p.m. plus 160 minutes. So it will be 1 p.m. plus 160 minutes. But what is 160 minutes? 160 minutes is how many hours? It's actually 2 hours, 40 minutes. Because 1 hour is 60 minutes. And 160, you can minus 60 dua kali. And you can use calculator. 160 minus 60 minus 60. So you end up with 40. That's why it's like 2 hours, 40 minutes. Understand? So it means you have to take 1 p.m. Plus with 2 hours and then plus another 40 minutes. So I think the final answer, the final time will be 3 o'clock, 3:40 p.m. Yeah, because 1 p.m. plus 2 hours is 3 p.m. and then plus another 40 minutes, so 3:40 p.m. So let's read again the question. If started at 1 o'clock in afternoon, what time will the amount less than? So it's, yeah, betul lah, it's at 3:40 p.m. Okay, so this is how I would do it. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue with question number 14. Okay, 14. Let's read. Diagram 5 shows two straight line L1 and L2. So got two line L1, L2. And they say with gradient M1 and M2 respectively. So the L1, the gradient of this line is M1 and the other one is M2. And keep in mind they are perpendicular because they put 90 degree here. Okay, if L1 and L2 are perpendicular at point C, okay, we can see it, 90 degree. Show that M1 times M2 equals -1. So we all know when two lines are perpendicular, the M1 times M2 will be -1. We all learn this formula, right? But they want us to show them. They want us to prove to them, right? So let me tell you how to prove. You have to prove using tangent. Okay. Okay. Before I start, I need to tell you about gradient first. Yeah, I need to tell you how tangent relates to gradient. Okay. Otherwise, you won't understand later if I show you the working, right? So I will tell you first how does tangent relates to gradient. First of all, let me just give you an example. So imagine if I draw a line that looks like this, and I will tell you that this is point A. This is point A, and the coordinate here is x1, y1, right? And then I give you another point here, and let's call this point B. And this one is x2, y2, right? So how do you find the gradient of AB? We all know how to find gradient, right? The formula is y2 minus y1, or you can say like find the difference in y, divide with x2 minus x1. Okay, divide with the difference in x. This is how you find gradient, right? But let me tell you, actually, if you tarik a line like this, do you agree when you take y2 minus y1, what you are basically finding is you are finding the length of this line, right? When you take y2 minus y1, you are finding the distance, the vertical distance here. And when you take x2 minus x1, you are finding the horizontal distance. In other words, gradient is actually finding the vertical distance and the horizontal distance and taking the vertical distance divide ataupun bahagi dengan horizontal distance. So what we can do is, we all know this will be 90. And let's call this point C, right? Let's call this point C. So you can say that the gradient of AB, you can actually find it by taking the BC punya panjang divide with AC, right? And you can see that this is clearly a right angle triangle because when you tarik horizontal vertical like this, it will be 90 degree. And if it's a right angle triangle, we can take this angle, okay, and I'll call this angle theta, and you can see that BC over AC is actually the tangent theta. Because we all learn about SOHCAHTOA, TOA, and tangent theta punya formula is opposite over adjacent. And if you look carefully, if the theta is here, the opposite, the depan angle opposite is the BC. And then the adjacent will be the AC. So tangent theta will be BC over AC. In other words, the gradient is actually the tangent theta. Yes, gradient is actually, the gradient of AB is actually tangent theta. And the theta will be the angle of the line with the x-axis. All right. Let me explain. This theta and this theta will be the same. Yes, because this data and this data same, right? That's why even if you find the tangent data here, you take the vertical distance here and the horizontal distance here, you end up with the same gradient. Yeah, because the gradient is like it doesn't get affected by, you can take any points along the line and you get same gradient, right? That is why if you take tangent data here or you take tangent data here, it will be the same answer, right? So what I'm trying to tell you now is gradient is actually tangent theta. Okay, now you already understand this. Now I can try to show you the working, how to show this thing, right? So look at this diagram. This is theta 1. Can you tell me this angle is, this is theta 1, this is theta 2, right? So that means the gradient M1 is actually tangent theta 1 lah. Do you agree? The M1, the gradient of this line is actually tangent theta 1. Yes. Okay, tangent theta 1. And then the M2, which is the gradient of this line, is actually tangent theta 2 lah. Because, okay. Even if the line look like this, and the theta 2 is like this, you can still find the gradient by using tangent because it will be the vertical distance divided with horizontal distance, right? But since your angle is in quadrant 2, then your gradient will come out negative because in quadrant 2, remember add sugar to coffee, in your angle quadrant 2 only sign positive. That's why your tangent theta will come out negative. That means your gradient will come out negative lah, because your line is going down like that, right? But you can still say that the gradient is still tangent theta 2. Yeah, it still works. So that's why I will write here M2 is tangent theta 2. Okay. And if you look closely, this angle is actually 180 minus 90 minus theta 1. Do you agree? Because this is a triangle, so 180 minus 90 minus theta 1, which means, you will get 90 minus theta 1. So can you tell me how to get theta 2? Okay, this is a straight line. So if it's a straight line, the total angle will be 180 minus with bracket, and I already find out this angle 90 minus theta 1. So you put like this. That means if you open the bracket, you get 180 minus 90 plus theta 1, which means you will get 90 plus theta 1. In other words, theta 2 is actually 90 plus theta 1. This angle is actually 90 degree plus with this angle, right? So if you have this case where two lines, the both angle have this relationship where the theta 2 is plus with theta 1, then they are perpendicular. And that means the M1, M2, negative 1. But I still haven't shown you how the formula yet. So now I'll show you. First thing first, we have to write down the panjang first. So for example, for tangent theta 1, so you can see that the opposite at the adjacent is what? The opposite will be AC, right? The opposite will be AC. Because if the angle is here, then the panjang opposite is AC, and then the adjacent will be BC if your angle is here, right? So that's the tangent theta 1. Okay, what about the tangent theta 2? Okay, your theta 2 is in the second quadrant. So it's okay. You just take the reference angle, which so you use this angle to get the opposite and the adjacent. So but if your angle is here, then the opposite is not AC anymore. It's BC. It's BC. And then over AC. But did you realize I purposely sengaja kosongkan some place here? Yeah, you know why, right? Because I have to put negative. Because when you do tangent for second quadrant angle, you get negative, right? And then what I will do next is I will try to see I will try to connect these two formula together. And how do we do that is, you can see this one is BC over AC, but this one is AC over BC. So we can try to terbalikkan this thing. So this one is tangent theta over 1, right? So you can actually terbalik, flip this thing, becomes 1 over tangent theta 1. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to flip the other side so that I can see the connection here and here, and then I can substitute this whole thing inside here. So when I sub inside, it becomes tangent theta 2 equals to negative BC over AC, and BC over AC is 1 over tangent theta 1, like this, right? And then the tangent theta 1 can move here, become times. So it becomes darab tangent theta 1, darab tangent theta 2 equals to negative 1. And don't forget, tangent theta 1 is the M1. So that means the M1 times with the M2 equals negative 1. And this is how you show the formula M1 times M2 equals negative 1, by using tangent, right? But this will only works when it's 90 degree here. Okay, this will only work when your theta 1 and theta 2, when your theta 2 is like 90 plus theta 1. Otherwise, if this is not 90 degree, then there will be no relationship between the tangent theta 1 and tangent theta 2. And if there's no relationship, if there's no connection, you will not reach this conclusion. You will not get this conclusion if they are not perpendicular. So in other words, when two lines are perpendicular, their gradient times together is -1, right? Okay, I hope my explanation makes sense to you and you understand what I'm talking about lah, right? Okay, so this is only worth 3 marks. Okay, it's like you just show them how the formula, macam mana datangnya formula tu lah. Okay, let's continue. Okay, B says given the coordinate of P is 5, 2, Q is 3, 5, straight line QR is perpendicular to PQ. When you see the word perpendicular, immediately think about this formula, M1 times M2 -1. In this case, it will be gradient of QR times gradient of PQ equals to -1 because QR and PQ perpendicular. And they say the QR also intersect x-axis at point R. It means the point R is definitely the y coordinate will be 0 because this is the intersect x-axis, means this is the x-intercept. So the y will be 0. And later we can find the x-intercept. But first we need the equation first. Yeah, if you don't have the full equation, you cannot sub the y equals 0, right? Okay, let's do number 1 first. So number 1, yeah, they ask you to find the equation of QR. So good lah. So how to find equation of QR? First, you need to have gradient. Do you have the gradient of QR? No, you don't. But it's okay. You can find gradient of PQ first, right? Because gradient of PQ, after you find gradient of PQ, then you use this formula, M1 times M2 -1, right? Okay, what is gradient of PQ? You have the point P, point Q. So the formula is y minus y, 5 minus 2, over x minus x, 3 minus 5. You will end up with M1 equals 3 over -2. But this is the M1. This is the gradient of PQ. I want the M2. So what you do is you have to take so you have to use this formula. So now the M1, you know already is -3 over 2. So how to get M2? You have to take -1 bahagi -3 over 2. And if you press in your calculator, you get 2 over 3. Okay. Okay, the fast way to do this is like you just terbalik and tukar tanda. So 3 over 2 terbalik, 2 over 3, and then tukar tanda positive. That's the fast way lah, if you don't want to use calculator, right? Okay, so this is your gradient M2, which is the gradient of QR lah. So now you have the gradient of QR, but you also need a point that passes through QR. So Q lah. Okay, QR confirm got passes through Q1. So now you can use the formula to find equation. The formula you use is y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. Right? And the gradient is 2 over 3. And then y minus y1 means y minus 5, x minus x, x minus 3. So remember, when you're finding equation, you always need two information. Gradient and a point which got passes through. Okay, if tak ada passes through, tak boleh guna point. And then you masuk dalam formula ni. Alright, now you can expand this. 2 over 3x minus 2. Here's y minus 5. And then the final answer is y equals 2 over 3x, -2 plus 5, which is plus 3. Okay, this is your answer. For my next question, they ask for coordinates of point R. But we already know R is actually the x-intercept of QR. So what you do is just take the QR full equation, y equals 2 over 3x plus 3, and just sub y equals 0. That's all. You just do that, and then you get the x-intercept. So you just pinna 3 becomes -3 here, and then x will become -9 over 2, right? So the coordinate of R is -9 over 2, 0. Okay, because x-intercept memang dia punya y kosong, right? Okay, let me just check with the schema quickly. 2 over 3x plus 3, 9 over 2, 0, -9 over 2, 0. Yeah, correct. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, I think I'm at my last question, so let's finish it. Okay, soalan A1, they say find f prime x. It means differentiate lah. For fx 3x squared plus 1 using differentiation by first principle. Okay, this first principle they asked in the Selangor state paper also. Yeah, because the last state paper I did is the Selangor Addmaths paper, and they also asked about first principle. Okay, so this is the second time I'm explaining. I'm doing this already. But I will do it. I will explain. Since they asked it here, so I will do it one more time for you. Okay, how to do? I will do it here. So first, we need to know first principle method is we cannot use the regular method because they already said use first principle method. So the method looks like this. The fx you can anggap dia macam y. Okay, yeah, fx is and y is like the same thing, right? So the way I teach my student is the y have to tukar jadi y plus delta y. And then for the x, you have to tukar jadi x plus delta x. And then the rest all just stay the same, right? So again, step 1, y tukar jadi y plus delta y, x tukar jadi x plus delta x. And then the rest just stay the same. And then this y, you sub with this. Yeah, you sub with, because they say y is 3x squared plus 1. So you just sub 3x squared plus 1 plus delta y equals to 3. And then this one square you expand. How you expand? X squared and then x times delta x, which is x delta x, and then times 2. So you get 2x delta x. Okay, that's the method. That's how you expand. And then delta x square is just delta x square. So just write delta x square. And then plus 1 is just plus 1. Okay, now I continue here. It becomes 3x squared plus 1 equal plus delta y equals, okay, now they take the 3, you expand. So you get 3x squared plus 3 times 2x, 6x delta x. And then plus 3 delta x squared. And then plus 1. So now you end up with, oh, you can cut, right? So 3x squared minus 3x squared can cut. 1 and 1 also can cut. So you end up with delta y. And what I will do here is I will factorize out the delta x. Let me tell you why. Because the dy dx is actually limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y delta x. So it means if you get your delta y delta x answer, you just have to sub the delta x jadi kosong, then you will get your dy dx. That's what it means. So what I'm trying to find out is delta y or delta x. That's why I will factorize out the delta x so that I can move the delta x pindah sini nanti, right? So that later I can find my dy dx, okay? All right, when I factorize out, I will left with 6x plus 3 delta x. Because this one is delta x square. So when you take out, ada lagi satu. Now you pindah sini. Okay, I don't have enough space, so I'll continue here. So it becomes like delta y over delta x equals 6x plus 3 delta x. And this is when you will use this formula. dy dx limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y delta x. What you are doing is, if you want to find dy dx, you just substitute delta x to get it 0. So it becomes 6x plus 3 times 0, which is 0. So the answer is 6x. So this is your answer, right? This is your answer. Okay, 6x. Okay, so this is how you do the first principle method. Okay, okay, for question 2, I will do it up here lah. So number 2, they want to find the first derivative for this function. Okay, this one is easy because they never say use first principle. So you just differentiate normally, like how you do it, like regular method. So power darab depan and then power minus 1. So 2 times 1 over 2, which is just 1. And then power minus 1, so x power 1. But power 1 no need to write. And then differentiate negative 3x is just negative 3. Eh? Yeah. So that's all, right? So it's that simple, right? X minus 3. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay. Okay, done. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, very easy. Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised by how easy it is. I thought I have to do something else. So yeah, that's all 4 marks. Okay. Boleh. Okay, B. Last question, let's go. The volume of sphere decreases at a rate of 2.5 pi. Okay, when you see the word rate, you know it's a rate of change question. It means over dt. Rate means over dt. But d what over dt? So they say about volume. So dv over dt is negative 2.5 pi because they say decreases. And don't forget the v represents volume of sphere. Okay. Okay, next, find the rate of change of radius of sphere. It means you are trying to find dr over dt. And the r represents radius of sphere. Okay, of sphere. All right, dr dt is what you're trying to find. So this is question mark. When the radius is 5, so r is 5 lah. And they even give you the volume of sphere formula. In case you never hafal, they give you already. But you need to hafal this actually. Because in maths, you will use this formula sometimes. Okay, the way I teach my student rate of change is I will always ask them to empty out this space and then draw this thing, line equals to line darab line, and I will always say this one and this one, just put dt, and then here and here same, here and here same. Okay, but which one, what you have to write here, okay, you can see that this is dv dt, this is drtt. So which one you left out here? Which one is being left out? dv and dr, right? So what do you think? Do I write dv dr or dr dv dv? Okay, it depends on who's the subject. So v will be the volume of sphere, r is the radius of sphere. Obviously the v will be the subject later. Okay, v will be the subject. It means dv should be here, dv should be here, dr and dr should be here. Then only it makes sense because you will find the dv dr later, because later your equation will be v in terms of r. And when it's v in terms of r, then when you differentiate, then only you get dv dr, right? If you write dr dv here, can also. It will be dr dv dv, but later you have to terbalikkan your dv dr answer, right? That's why I never choose to do it like that. But can also, you get the same answer actually. Boleh juga. But it's better to do it like this. Okay, dv dt, they given already, negative 2.5 pi. dr dt is the question mark. It means this is the final answer. This is what you want to find in the end. Like this is the final answer, right? So this is what you want to find last kali. So what you need to find now is this lah, dv dr. And first, you need to have your equation V in terms of R first. And they even give it to you already. The volume of sphere formula is 4/3 pi R cubed. This is the formula that can relate the V and R together. Okay, volume and R. This is the formula. Okay, volume of sphere and the radius of sphere. This is how you relate them into one equation. Okay, now you can find the dVdr. And when you differentiate, you have to take the power times with the number in front. 3 times 4/3 is 4, and then power minus 1. But don't sub inside first. You need to make sure you ganti the R inside first. Okay, and the R the soalan will give you, yeah, they give you here already, 5. But what if they never give us R here? They give us V here. Okay, very easy. If they give you V, you sub inside the original equation and then get the R first. Then only you sub back here. All right. If they never give you lah, then you do like that. Right. But this question they give you for free already. So just masuk 5 square 25 times 4, 100 pi. So this 100 pi you sub inside. The pi don't worry because pi is actually a value. It's actually a number. It's not unknown. Pi is not unknown. So now you can find your dr dt. Okay, when you take pi divided pi, you can cut. So what is negative 2.5 divided 100? Negative 0.025. And don't write, please write the unit. R is radius. Radius is in cm. Time is s minus 1. Okay, because duduk bawah. So the answer is negative 0.025. Okay, I think I'm done with this paper. This is the last question, right? Okay. Bye-bye. See you next video.